time, and then they'd go eat lunch, and then they'd go down. They were exhausted. Because apparently skiing is work. If you're not in shape, I mean, it hurts everything you own.
Yep.
And so and are you kidding me? We're poor. We got the money for lift tickets. We're going to be the first ones out, and then we're going to be on the last chair going up every night. And by the end of the fourth day, some instructor came up to me and he goes, "Oh man," he said, "you got to come over here with us and try to called lower cup run." He said, "Your skis ain't long enough." So he strapped on a pair of 220s, and he said, "Just bail off the top of this hill. It's nothing but speed. You ain't gonna run out of room." He said, "Try it." And let me tell you something. I can see why them guys, when you're doing 60, 70 mile an hour on a pair of skis going down a hill, it's just super smooth. There is nothing like it. There just isn't. But then that little, what happens if, remember the agony of defeat commercials going through the back of your head? Yeah, you don't want that.
No.
No.
That
Not
was
if you were
one-time
going down.
deal.
Not if you were doing a straight downhill run. No way.
That was the most awesome. I asked the guy, I said, "How fast do you get going?" They said, "Well, did it get blurry?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "About 60." He said, he goes, "That's when it starts to get blurry." I'm like, wow, now this is cool.
Yeah.
Yep. But man, my legs are on fire from the end of that run. I'll never forget
I'm
that.
sure they
I only
were.
did it once, but it was exhilarating to say the least.
Yeah, that's like I used to love to do the moguls.
I couldn't. I was never.
Yeah.
I was. I just like going down the hill.
But that's the other reason why my knees are shot now.
I watch them guys, and they'll go straight across the top of them things at warp speed, and it's like they're not even there. You look at their hat, and it never their head never changes position. It's the rest of them that's going up and down.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that takes some serious strength.
Yeah, and I would go down side, cross going down that way rather than a straight down.
These guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see the addiction. If I was to live in Colorado, even at my age, I would be out there as much as possible. Of course, I don't have the knees for it anymore, but
nope.
Yeah.
I can barely get up and down from the floor when I have to dig something out of a cabinet.
my wife has to push me off the couch. It's like, the couch just sits wrong. I'm gonna have to put some blocks. That's what I should do, is make some plinths for the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a board in the couch.
But the angle is all wrong. You gotta
Yep.
like rock a couple of times to get a running start. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, something's catching up to you, Dave.
Age, I think.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
Dick, you're talking, but I think you're muted if you're talking to us.
Something's yeah.
He,
Nope.
he-
Not
got
coming
nothing.
through.
He's muted.
Something's
Okay,
muted on him.
This is the time for the stripes to come up and technical difficulties bulletin. I'm going to get
Yeah.
a cup of coffee.
Did your mic get unplugged? Nope, still can't hear you.
There we go. There now.
There you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now you're
You
back.
got it.
Okay. I switched to another program that I do the video through, so I can switch between things like the radio or
Oh yeah.
other different cameras, and I also had the audio going through that, and it was connected to the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was skiing, the guy who taught me, who is an avid skier, and he says, the thing to do is, if you get in any kind of trouble, just sit down and you'll stop.
Yep.
And I had done that, but the time that I got into trouble, I didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
unfortunately, when my skis crossed and I was in the water, it just, that was it. Down I went.
Yeah, I did water skiing once, and I didn't have any trouble getting up. I had a problem staying up. Everybody said,
That's the same thing
"Oh,
with me.
yeah,
I would get up and all of a sudden, whoa, the tip of the ski would hit the water and
yeah."
like, oh, Sorry.
For the short time I did it, it was a lot of fun, you know. And unlike snow skiing, it wasn't cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
I was learning how to water ski with a boat that didn't have enough power to get me up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, because when you're experienced water skier, you know how to handle the pull and everything, I guess.
Mhm.
But the guy was trying to teach me. I tried it off the dock. I tried it sitting in the water, and he just didn't have enough torque to pull me up.
Hmm.
And
The
back then,
biggest thing,
I weighed a lot less than I do today. So
the biggest thing people forget to tell you is don't let the skis come out of the water. As soon as the rope gets tight and you
Yeah.
start moving, try and stand up on the skis. Don't wait for the skis to ride up on the water. Nobody ever tells you that part.
No.
So you've got millions of gallons of water across your midriff that you have to try and hang on to this stupid rope, and the boat has to pull through. But as soon as that boat moves, you got your knees tucked, you know, like sort of in
Yeah.
a fetal position. But as soon as them skis start to move, keep the tips out of the water and stand up. Just
okay,
hold the rope and stand up, and then you'll come up like that. The boat pulls. I've seen people ski behind a 12-foot John boat with a 20-horse Evinrude on it.
yeah, I've seen that too, but I
That's
didn't
how they do it.
Yeah, nobody ever
Nobody-
explained to me how to get out. You know, how to stand up on them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part is once you get out of the water. So
Yeah,
the sooner you can help the boat, the better
Yeah.
off you are. Because you always got 4 of your friends stuffed in the boat with this little motor, you know.
yeah. No, it's just the driver and me.
Now I think that knowledge is about 50 years too late for you.
Just a bit. 50. 50?
No, you can still do it. I guarantee you can still do it, especially
Closer
now.
to 65. I don't know. Not with my knees anymore.
Well, that might be a problem, but they got.
And then
you
I
know,
never
now
had
for
I never had the greatest upper body strength.
the
Ah,
I was
now
a
they
great.
have the poles that stick out for beginners,
Yeah.
right.
so you can just kind of lean over the pole on a real ski boat. I mean, a real ski boat will yank 15 people out of the water like it's nothing. If you can hang on, you're going.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that was the only problem is I was great with push-ups and sit-ups, but when it came to chin-ups, no matter what position, I was lucky if I could punch out 20.
Oh, I could never do one ever.
Chin-ups were easy. Pull-ups, we had to
Yeah.
do like 10 pull-ups for breakfast when I went to jump school. Before you ate, you had to get 10 pull-ups before you went in the chow hall, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Well, that's like I could do the ladder. I could do
Okay.
the ladder
Ladders
almost
I
all
could do.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it came to pulling my full body weight up, and even in the Army, that's the only time I got up to 20
Hmm.
during basic training.
We did some push-ups. I can't believe that. It still amazes me to this day. I went in the Army at 143 pounds and 6'2". 3 weeks later, I was 180 pounds, right? Other guys that went in at, 6 foot and pretty near 300 pounds were 180 and in 3 weeks, and everybody ate the same. There was no such thing as a diet. Everybody did the same exercises. We all ate the same. So it's like I tell everybody, I say, if you're serious about getting your weight to where it needs to be, I said, you eat a decent meal at the same time every freaking day.
Of Dave,
Okay.
I was same thing. I went in about 146 into boot camp. 12 weeks later, I was in the Marine Corps. I was 162 pounds. I couldn't believe it. Put down almost 20 pounds.
Yep.
Burning off all those calories every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I lost so much weight in Fleet Summer in the Naval Academy that when I wore my dress whites because all our uniforms were tailored. First time I wore my tropical white long pants, I had to put a military tuck in my pants.
Really.
I lost so much weight over Plebe Summer. My pants were about 1.5 inches too big in the waist.
Wow.
It's just amazing how, I mean, well, if you got that much data dealing with people, every cycle at every 12 weeks, you get another, couple hundred kids come through there for,
Mhm.
that's what you are. And I mean,
Yeah.
but I just saw, I mean, I went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, so we didn't have as much physical stuff as like people that went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. You know, we weren't going to be grunts. We were going on to different, like Fort Jackson, it was even more extreme for the guys there, and Leonard Wood, and
Yeah.
you know, well, the Marine Corps, same way. I mean, you know, they did a lot more physical stuff than we did. Ours
Yeah.
was just sleep deprivation. It was horrible. I bet you we didn't get 3-4 hours of sleep a night over there.
That was the one thing I did get when I was in basic. But then I got lucky. I was at Fort Knox, and the cycle before I went in September, and the cycle before mine, they lost a guy down at Fort Gordon from heat
Okay.
stroke. So they just babied us to some extent. But yeah, I went in at about 110 pounds, and when I got out 6 months later, I was at about 145.
It was the weight gain and loss. Everybody, if people that needed to lose a few pounds came way down. Guys like me that need to gain a bunch of pounds went way
Yeah.
up, and it was, I mean, just a transformation. And they did. They would take a picture of you the day you got there, and then the day you left, and you look at these two pictures, and you're like, it's not even the same person.
Yeah.
The Army the same way, like, and in the Marine Corps, you can like they call a heavy body, you know, and you couldn't do the PT pull-ups, the 3 mile run. They would put you in PCP, physical conditioning platoon. The Army had that also.
It wasn't more for the physical thing. It was more to adjust your attitude than it was the physical part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That was another platoon. That was called motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something stupid like that. Yeah, I forget what it was called. I was there a couple times, but not in basic. I was in AIT. I was over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I still get a kick out of what the Marine Corps does to new guys, because my one wife's cousin just went in, and he's the funny thing is he's going into transportation because they don't have a need for him as a mechanic right now. So instead of being at a Marine post, he's at Fort Leonard Wood,
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
and he says he gets treated a lot better at an Army post than he does at a Marine post. And I go, yeah, they're all scared you're going to kick their ass.
And I was saying, Marine Corps boot camp today is 180 degrees. Or what?
Oh, yeah.
75 when I went in. When I was in there, the DI could actually kick your ass.
Oh, they
Now,
still do.
touch you.
They still do.
Oh, they can't touch you like they used to hit you.
I don't think they can swear at you anymore. I was called names that I would never repeat. Sergeant
when-
Eagle, I'll never forget this guy. My weapon jammed, and I was on the range, and I tried that, you know, the sports thing, and this, that, I couldn't get that thing to unjam. There was a round, you could see it sticking out, and I couldn't get the bolt come. I couldn't do anything to it. He grabbed that freaking weapon out of my hands, and I was in a foxhole, and he jammed that thing on my steel pot.
Oh.
I was like, I woke up on a picnic table. I don't know if it was an hour later or a couple minutes, but I never saw that guy again. I thought that was a little extreme.
That would be a little extreme, but yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't do that no more.
Yeah.
Like you said, they can't even swear at you no more.
I don't know, but my cousin, he was up on the 30-foot tower with his gear and his fake rifle. And his DI asked him, "Are you scared?" And he said, "No." And then he pushed him off. Because they had to learn how to survive, 30-foot drop into water.
Oh, that, yeah, like jumping from a boat.
Because everybody else kind of like jumped in. But for some unknown reason, Dominic got pushed.
They had a full uniform and full pack, everything
Yeah.
in the water.
Yep.
God, I can
I
remember
never had to
jumping a
do that in the
Weezy bag.
Army. I had to climb the tower and to go over the other side of the tower, but I never got pushed off or had to jump off of the one.
I
But we
remember when
didn't have a lot of
jumped
water
Weezy
in Fort
bag.
Knox either.
I just some of the stuff we did, I just don't know how. I wouldn't be. They really are pretty good at what they do. There's no way you could take somebody and teach them how to do some of the stuff you learn, because we're not teachers. I mean, there's a system to it, you know,
Yeah.
Sure.
and how they teach so many people something in such a short amount of time and be proficient at it
Yeah.
is it's a miracle.
Well, that's like,
especially drill. You know,
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody couldn't know their left from the right. And
How
when
about
got the graduation,
your other left?
in the machine.
yeah.
It was so funny. Where
Uh,
are you going, bonehead? Your other left. Oh my God. It was, I mean, but at the end of a couple hours, you got 100 people who didn't even know what the word drill meant. To you, a drill was something you plug in a wall and start, you know.
yeah.
And but the I think the hardest part of DNC was the function check. You know, when you do your thing, and there's always one guy that hadn't squeezed the trigger yet, and it goes click. You know, there's 99 people got it, but then there's one that's just a fraction of a second late, and you do it all over again.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those were looking back on it.
You know,
It's funny.
just-
Living it,
I
it was
just want to
miserable.
hear one snap, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You guys.
Gentlemen, I jumped in to say good morning. I got something to do, and want to wish everyone Happy New Year.
Hey, you too.
Okay, good to see you, Mike.
Alrighty, Mike.
to see you,
thanks
Mike.
for coming
Mike.
by.
Easy.
See you
Hi,
on
Mike.
catch your night crawlers.
There you go.
Well, I'll catch you on the grumpies, Mike.
Oh, yeah, right.
Monday through Friday, you kind of
Yeah.
show up. So
All right.
it's nice to put a face with the call.
You
Yeah.
got it.
Love
For
Zoom.
sure.
Take care.
You too.
Take care, Mike. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
So, Dick, how you doing on the repeater class?
Repeater class.
Yeah, you're-
Yeah. No, nothing much more has happened with that. But
Now that I'm the president at York, I might want to call on you if you can get it done.
okay, alrighty. Good. Don't be shy about rattling my cage about it. So it.
Yeah, because I even want to learn, because I still get confused about the controller, you know, and then of course if you want to add on Echolink or you want to add on, I know RPL, whatever it was, they had their own controller you had to buy, which I thought
Okay.
was a little expensive. Well, that's a problem. The hobby is too expensive, and so expensive anyway. And then now this new thing that we're doing, especially night crawlers, where you can get people across the country.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I know we need Ethernet for that, so I haven't been able to find any place that can teach me all that in one spot. Just like trying to work out the bug in my wires room. It won't stay up all day because it keeps on saying it's closing because it detected the HRI 200. I typed that into Google, and so many people are asking the same question and nobody's been able to answer it. So but I have a feeling it's got something to do with the new software in the FTM 100 that'll work without the interface.
I'm doing good to get into a wires room, but I just have a simple radio over here. It's just it does complicated things.
Yeah.
Maybe you should send it to basic training.
That thing needs to, I like I said, my buddy Jay, he loves the digital world and he loves DMR and he loves all this stuff. And I just know. I mean, I'm happy I finally got FT8 working and I can do JS8 call. I got that, to go, but
Okay.
I was impressed with that. And it was all a stupid setting. Well, I told you guys,
Yeah.
there isn't a video on how to set a Mac up with
It's got to be. I thought
my
there was.
particular radio.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody, the 7300 and all the ICOM 7610s and 7800s.
Yeah, those are all
blah,
plug
blah.
and play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Kenwood, there's not a video on it. There's lots
Oh.
of Windows, but there's
Yeah.
none for a Mac.
Yeah.
Well, what they
Ah.
nobody ever goes in is you got in your sound settings in the Mac. A lot of times it will default to something other than your radio.
Yeah.
Well, always it would never.
Well,
Always
you're
try to do-
playing with the input and output on the menu of the radio. It's not going to the right place on the computer.
Yeah.
And what should be output, the way you think about it, is actually input according
Oh,
to the
for the
computer.
audio. Yeah, it
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
depends on where you're sitting. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, once I found that out a gazillion settings later, and the parity bits and blah 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 blah, after you get all that set up, then it just took off and started working. I was like, yes.
That's the only problem
Wow.
with the Yaesu too, making an interface with a computer. And I had
Hey,
the hardest
Yaesu
time.
just came out with a new radio. Did you guys look at that?
Oh, what, the FTDX10?
Is that what it's called? I briefly got an email about it from Gigaparts. I didn't really look at it yet.
What, the 101?
They came out with a new Yaesu came out with a new radio.
I'll have to go
a
look.
New
It's
HF radio.
The FTDX10. It's basically the Mini 101.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We
'Cause
shot
I
to
just
50
was-
megahertz. That's it.
It's
No,
what? HF and 50.
Yeah, so it's not quite a 991 replacement, but probably comparing the 705 to my 991. AXR reminded me that the 991 is like a decade-old design or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because I got the original 991 and I had to upgrade some frequencies in it. And I forgot, Yaesu doesn't play well with computers in general.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I had it plugged into my USB extension that has power,
Yeah.
but it said it was writing to it, but it never wrote. It actually corrupted all the data. So I had to take it off the USB extension, plug it directly into one of the plugs on the laptop, and then it wrote all the data out to the radio. It does not like to share.
Hmm.
And I've heard tales like that about Kenwood too, didn't like to share sometimes.
I've never even
But-
tried to go into inner workings of a
But
Kenwood.
ICOM, it sees the computer, it's this, like, what do you want me to do, babe?
Yeah.
The only thing that I have a problem with is trying to make it work with the remote software.
I tried that once. It worked. I didn't have much of a need for it, so I never did anything more with it.
Well, because of COVID, we were going to try and set up a 7300 at the training tower, and then anybody that had software access could get in and run the 7300. So then
Yeah.
there was no touchy, no feely.
What's
Yeah,
that, Dick?
I was going to try this. It's a thing, MFJ. It's a Raspberry Pi with a radio hat in it of some
Ah.
kind, and it's designed to let you operate the radio from a web page, so it'll work on anything.
Oh,
And I haven't actually tried it yet. It's been sitting here, and I don't know quite why I got it, but it's
So would that be to set up like an SDR, basically like a receiver for the
Well,
internet you could access on the internet?
a remote, yeah. So you can run the radio up at a place where on top of the mountain and run it from your house down in the valley or someplace.
yeah. Yeah, because the software, I bought the ICOM software, the R8 BS1 or whatever it is, or BS.
Yeah.
And I got close, but I never could get it to work totally just inside, the house on the internet or the home network. So I bought that extra cable that somebody suggested, and I haven't tried it since.
Well, some of them need you wind up needing two computers, and they have to be Windows computers. You have one connected to
Yeah.
the radio, and then it does the stuff to make it go out over IP.
Right.
And the newer ICOM radios, like the 7610 and I think the 9700, maybe even the 705, that supports built into the radio, so you don't need a PC to go from the radio to IP. You just need
Yeah.
their software. And of
Yeah,
course,
that's-
it's Microsoft Windows only, so I'm usually
Yeah.
not terribly interested in it. But
Yeah, well, that's the problem with the 7300. You got to have two Windows machines or two Macs. And I don't even know if it likes the Mac being in the
no,
virtual machine.
they wouldn't like the Mac. It wouldn't like the Mac at all.
Yeah, so I've gotten close, but when I go to turn off the radio, it won't turn off. So I bought that at the second cable that you plug into the. It's USB to the DIN connector, I think.
Oh, you shouldn't. For the 7300,
Yeah,
whatever it is, it should be usable over the USB, I think.
it needs a second signal from something. It's really crazy the way they worked it out. But the
Yeah.
7610 has it built in.
Okay, yeah, because they have more information that the over the USB you get audio in and out over one or two or over eight USB channels, and then you get CAT control over a serial port on it.
Yeah.
For the remote software, you need enough information to do the the video and some other things that aren't controlled. So be able to get this out over the. You can't get that over the USB port. That'd have to come over the
Right.
Whatever else however else they're doing it.
Yeah, so I got that part to almost work, but I just couldn't quite. I didn't feel secure with it in the house yet, because it wouldn't turn off the radio. Because when I'd come down, because I was doing it from a different room, so I'd be going up and down the stairs, and came really close. But then again, you need another head. When you're doing that, you using the computer mic and speaker. There was still a funny lag, so I don't know how it would be over the internet.
Well, there's certainly going to be lag, so that's like right now I've got this Zoom session connected to YouTube, so it's streaming to YouTube, and I'm looking at it on my iPad, and I used a stopwatch to compare like when it would change between speakers. There's about a 30-second delay on that.
Yeah.
Oh, from the meeting to where you play back on YouTube?
Yeah. And
Always watching it live.
Yeah, that makes sense because you want to have a fairly large buffer in there so it doesn't
Okay.
stutter or anything. And
Yeah.
so I figured I would give the YouTube thing a try. It was easy. You just click on, as the meeting host, you just click on a thing that says share on something.
YouTube, yeah.
You can share on a
Oh.
variety of things, and you only share on one. But I picked YouTube.
Oh, here
and
it is.
I just said go and do it. Yeah, if you do that, you can copy the link and see it on YouTube.
Yeah, we used to do that with our church services when we were on lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you were doing it on YouTube?
Yeah.
And they definitely have enough bandwidth to do that, don't they?
Oh yeah.
there's a thing
But
at the
then
top
again,
of the
that's
screen.
Google again.
It says
Yeah.
live on. It says live on YouTube, so you can click that, and it'll
Yep,
show you
yeah.
the YouTube version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the thing about it was I didn't have to set anything up in YouTube at all. I just said, go do it, and it
Yeah.
start it, and it's there. At the.
So you'd have to, if you just went on your iPad, then what do you do? Search 220 guys?
Yeah, or copy and paste that link in.
That link.
It will on the iPad. It'll want you to run the app instead of the web page, which is better. But you just paste that into the web page, and it automatically tries to start the iPad app.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but
And
I'm on a Windows laptop, so it's going to be kind of hard to cut and paste unless I write it down.
Well, yeah.
That's why I say if I open up my YouTube app and search 220 guys.
Did the Windows ever support cut and paste between computers? No, on the Apple stuff, I can copy something from from one computer, paste it on the other, and it.
Oh yeah, because Apple uses the Notepad to do that.
Mhm.
I haven't. No.
You shouldn't have to do it. It's just there. It just if you got everything set up right, so they share.
Yeah, Windows got more stuff that shares now. I'm a little leery of it.
Yeah, I mean it's not exactly impossible. Big deal technology to make that kind of thing happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Where's Google? Where's YouTube?
Wow, Dick, you got 3 subscribers. Check you out.
Yeah. Two of them are me.
Oh, okay.
One's on a web browser and one's the iPad, and the third one must be you. I don't know if you can see who's
No, I just
looking at it. I don't think
subscribed. Now
can.
you should have 4
Oh,
now.
you're a subscriber. Oh, so you can see the John talking about going to the spam museum and the if you look on my videos, there's one of a red-tailed hawk when I was down in Indiana.
Oh, Cooper's
I was
Hawk, yeah.
oh the Cooper's hawk was the backyard.
Oh,
I saw that.
Oh, there it
and
is.
I looked out the window and I saw the Cooper's hawk and I go, oh, I got to get my camera. I'm going to see if I can get a picture of this. And I go, he's going to be gone by the time I get the camera. Well, I got the camera. He was still there, did a couple of stills, then did the video, and he was still there when he's dining on Sparrow. And I don't think anything's going to interrupt it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. They prefer the birds versus the squirrels because the squirrels were running around on my lawn, and the Cooper's hawk was in the tree just above him, and he just he looked down at him and he goes, nah.
On my videos, there's one of a red-tailed hawk
Yep, there you found it finally, huh, Bill?
in Indiana.
Cooper's hawk,
yeah. Well, the Cooper's hawk was the backyard.
Okay.
It's kind of
So-
strange.
I'm hearing video twice.
Yeah, you're hearing.
Yeah.
I think Bill finally figured out how to make
No,
it.
I
work.
haven't gotten it yet.
Oh,
I think I'm going to shut this one down.
oh.
But
So,
YouTube is
we're-
amazing. What you get basically for free. You know, it's
Yeah.
I subscribe to the ad-free version because I hate ads. I really
Oh,
hate
I can't
ads.
stand ads, but I even worse than that. They want
Yeah.
money, so
What the heck?
it's kind of.
I bought a new TiVo and it came a day before Christmas I think, and I was setting the thing up and it is awful. The
Oh?
user interface was just terrible compared to the older one, and I packed it up and later today if they're open I'm going to call them and get a return thing because for buying a new one I expect the new one to be better than the old one, and it's
Yeah.
the user interface is awful. There's some things like there was little lights on the front that would indicate if it was recording, which was kind of nice to see. That's gone. And I go, forget that, man. It's slightly faster at running, but who cares? You know, it's not a.
Well, I'm a fan of like Comcast on demand. I don't. We got a DVR, so we don't watch anything live because of the commercials. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
record
Yeah.
everything and skip over them.
We don't watch anything live at all. But the nice thing with the TiVo is that I can copy programs to the computer from it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I've got we watch a lot of Turner Classic Movies, and I've got I think I've probably about 600 of them that I've copied up to
Oh, wow.
computer systems.
All right. And
I know
gotta break
last
down.
week-
I'm finding pictures of breakfasts from the club, but I'm not finding.
You don't see the link in the top left of your
No,
Zoom
I'm
screen?
finally breaking down and clicking on it.
Gee, finally, let's do stuff the easy way.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm trying to look it up on my iPad.
if you do a
Oh.
search in YouTube for Dick Lieber, you should get.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing WM9W breakfast live.
No.
Okay, so I gotta-
the title of it is Good Guys Saturday Morning Virtual Breakfast. So
Oh,
you might be able to find it with that. But
Stupid plug on a stupid backup drive. Oh, making me crazy.
Oh, yeah, this
Backup.
is definitely lagged. To be expected.
yeah. So Kevin, I think I mentioned last week I was giving up on Apple programming, and I figured I would try Rust because I heard a lot of good things about Rust, and actually quite a bit about it. I liked it. Seems to be a lot better documented than the Apple stuff, and there's kind of not a zillion ways of doing things. Like in the Apple world, you got Swift, and some things work in Swift, and then some things you got to do Objective-C, and some things are only C. And the things
Oh
I
my
was
God.
interested in, like talking to a USB device, looked like it was only some old interface that I never got to work. And Rust I got working within a day
Oh, wow.
to talk to the USB devices. And then I go, well, maybe I should just go back to Scala. And I know it. I understand it. I found what looks like some good sound libraries for Java. And I go, oh, well, the USB and sound was the reason I was looking at the Mac anyway. And I go, maybe I should just go back to something I understand. Yeah. Although Rust is neat because there's no runtime for it. No garbage collection. It manages memory for you in kind of a bizarre way, but it doesn't use reference counting, doesn't use garbage collection, and it's. But I
That
go,
would be a fun class to take as programming.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
there's a
do
lot
it,
of.
do it works. Also, do you want cross-platform?
It would be good because I'm going to run it on a Mac, and ultimately, it's probably going to run. Most things are going to run on a Raspberry Pi. So
Yeah, I kind of criticize people using big commercial companies using cross-platform development stuff for in order to avoid having to pay for people. It might cost them another $1 million a year in programmers against their $1 billion revenues
yeah,
to make a crappy product. But in the open source community, I can certainly see using things like Qt or writing something in Java with whatever
Rust
Java language, JVM language you like with.
Rust seems to like GTK, which I don't know too much about, but it looked fairly straightforward. And but anything I do, ultimately, I'm going to probably want to rely on a web-based interface anyway. So if one of the things I'm looking to do is to do a thing that will also maybe separate programs, but one that will let you record what's on the repeater and then play things back. So instead of having John hold his mic up to the speaker on his computer to play the rain report, upload the rain report and click a button and have it play.
Yeah, that sounds neat. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
and then there's some other nice things that I'd like to expose that would be to let anybody see who's connected with All-Star or Echolink, like for especially for a net controller, and to be able to listen to the repeater from a web page. And there's some ways of doing that with Broadcastify and things like that.
I was going to say, will we end up on Broadcastify? That'd be
well, maybe, but what I was
Kevin's getting
interested in was having, and there's a couple of things that are a thing called Shoutcast, which will do audio. And I don't know if it's free, but if it isn't, it's very, very cheap. And I can embed that in my own web page then.
Yeah.
So you could have a page that would show who's connected to the repeater, except for the RF folks, and listen to the repeater all from a web page.
Yeah. York is on Broadcastify. One of the guys put that on.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty simple to do that. So once you get something listening, ought to be able to send it to Broadcastify and or Shoutcast and have it available a variety of ways.
And the same thing for playing the rain report, because Jim has done it. Jim, I think, did it the first time for HAP even. You just take a 3-position switch box for I can't remember if it's USB or mic, and then that way you change from the mic to computer versus the push to talk on the mic.
Yeah, well, this would probably be either a separate radio like our All-Star link is now, or something ultimately at the repeater.
Yeah. I don't know how you could control that from if you have internet connectivity, you should be able to do it.
And the repeater controller has three ports on it. So one port would be the radios on the repeater. Another port would be receive only for the control receiver. And then the third one would connect to the Raspberry Pi. And then that should be able to do, hopefully I could get the audio, and I'm sure in more than one application. I'm not quite sure how All-Star gets that stuff, but
yeah, but you need the internet there at the repeater, right?
Yeah. Well, I figure once COVID's over, by that time there may be fixed, relatively low cost fixed wireless that we could stick up there, go over the cellular network. I talked to Rich, who used to be the tech guy, and he had AT&T put in internet access, and they could never make it work reliably up there. And I never quite understood that, because it's not like it was DSL. I think DSL has been around for a long time. It's not like this is technology that AT&T's just learning to do, you know. And but it's a long run. The phone connections are in one corner of the building, and we're in the opposite corner of the building, and they ran quad wire from there to the other one, past all the fans and air and a lot of other machinery and stuff. So I have a hunch there was a lot of interference. So what I'd probably do, if I would go that route, I'd probably put the access point, or put the whatever comes from the AT&T where the phone equipment is, and then run shielded Ethernet cable over to the repeater. Yeah. But I think a wireless one might be just a little bit easier to deal with. And
yeah, but you got a concrete and steel building, right? Yeah,
but my phone works fine inside there. So if the phone works, I'm sure other things would.
Well, I know Verizon. I don't know if they're allowed to sell in Chicago yet, but in the suburbs, Verizon sells the cellular Wi-Fi.
Yeah. They have.
I don't know how much that would cost us.
The 5G isn't available at that address yet. I don't know that it would ever work well inside that building. 5G frequencies are.
Yeah, because they're higher, right, or lower?
Higher, way higher. So
that's that's 1.2 gig.
Maybe even higher than that. I'm sure much higher. Wi-Fi is 2.4, so it's higher.
Oh, that's right, 2.4. Yeah, 2.4 and 5.4.
But the 5G runs on a lot of different bands, but the bands that it's commonly on have a hard time getting through dry leaves. And
yeah, because I know they ran the cable down the one street a half a block away from me.
Yeah,
not even half a block, but they were. I don't know who was running the cable. I don't know which, because they would never say which company that they were working for.
Yeah.
Their contract was just to run this cable underground.
Yeah. Verizon shows they have 5G wide ultra band, I think they call it, right down Irving Park Road. And that's 100 feet from me. And I could not get it. And I even walked over to the corner where supposedly I'm right there, and nothing. John, that looks like real kind of lighting for somebody who wants to be shown on the internet on a meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that has lighting problems.
I got, where I've got the stupid control light, it's reflecting off the screen, because the screen is over my head too.
I could go down in the basement, get my studio flashes and all that crap, but you know what? It's just you guys.
Yeah. Well, I did buy the light ring, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I
don't know where, because then it would get in the way of my looking at my 32-inch monitor.
Yeah, I had some.
This is the little camera I bought. You can't see the camera, but it's got what was I thinking? You can't.
Are you trying to turn the camera to show the camera?
Yeah, I was going to show the camera, but this computer don't have a camera in the stupid monitor. Son of a gun. Okay, color me stupid today. It's going to be one of them kind of days.
Yeah, better go skiing again.
Yeah.
Oh shit. You know what? I'm going on. Yeah, I got something for you guys. I'm going on Amazon and I'm going to show you the damn camera. 39 bucks works good.
Yeah, I paid $39 for mine at Costco, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
I downloaded the extra software, but it won't do the zoom motion like Dick's.
I
have
don't
to-
have any software for this. It's just
I
the
gotta
camera.
crop it, and I screw up when I crop stuff, so
Uh,
I ended up cutting myself out of the picture. It was
Oops.
terrible. For being a geek, my geek skills left me when I retired, I think.
Really?
checked at the door, huh?
Yeah, they got checked at the door. When I started collecting Social Security, I had to turn them in. Because there are times when I forget the most simplest starting points to when I troubleshoot when it comes to the computer.
Hey, you know, you guys are gonna laugh at this. I'm no computer guru, but for years and years and years back, you know, let's see, from 96, 97, whatever, out of my group of friends, I was the computer guy because they couldn't get nothing to work. And so they had a guy, it was called me, but I didn't have nobody to call. Okay. So I would Google stuff and I would look for answers and then I would go back and I would try it. And I mean, I'm not talking about program. I'm just talking about trying to get stuff to work, man. Cause you know, then you had to have a special, Windows didn't have all inclusive driver packages. You had to go look for stuff. And it was horrible trying to get some of the stuff to work, you know, and I'm
Yep.
sure you guys could have figured it out in 10 minutes, but it wasn't that easy for a guy who just drove a truck and was off hurt. So anyway, so I did a lot of that stuff, looking for drivers and and then back then it was, what was the stupid networking to get two machines to network was like an act of Congress. Why Windows didn't just install that stuff to begin with. You had to have a Windows disk and you had to go install the IPv thing and then what is that MS config and then check out all this other crap that never would come on automatically. Windows 98 was a real pain in the behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's mine.
Well, the
I
other
got
thing
a
you had to realize you had to have a crossover
light
cable
there,
too.
a tiny light over
Yeah.
there, and it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Plus the couple of, I'm using the one in the monitor now. There's a one here and an older
Big one is
webcam
the
up
one
there.
I saw on the big one. That's the
the wide one. That's
yeah.
yeah. It's a Huddle cam. It's nice because it does HD. It and that leaves in order to get the 400 or whatever that or 720 at best that Zoom does. You can zoom and zoom in and things on it, which is really nice. And it has HDMI or webcam over USB port. So that's that
Yeah.
was really, really nice.
Yeah, I forgot. What did I do with the box from this one?
Yet. Whoops.
Where
Where did it put the screenshot? Oh my God.
But I did order. There's the resolution we get tends to be really crappy, and but there is a thing that will let you see it. Where's the thing that lets me see the?
Now that was cool. I got
Just
3 screens, okay? So when I go Command Shift 3, it takes a screenshot, but it takes a screenshot of all 3 screens and puts them on the. So then you gotta go.
Oh,
which
there's a
one was I
thing.
trying to show
There's
you?
there's a thing you can do on the Mac because the command, the keys you have to do to bring up the screen capture things are the most undiscoverable things I have ever seen in my life. I could never ever remember them, but the key to that is to copy a program that comes on every Mac called Screen Share. And let me share my screen here. And there's this thing called Screenshot is in, I think, in your utilities folder. If you put it to the dock, now you can click on that and it gives you a thing where you can say, oh, I want to capture the whole screen, a window, a certain area, and you don't have to remember what all their stupid keys are.
Oh, Command Shift 3 and Command Shift 4.
Yeah, but how can you
Actually-
remember all those? And then if you want to, if you drag that screenshot to the dock, it's just there, and boy, life is easier.
What's the
Yeah.
name of that program?
Screen share,
Screen Share.
Screen
It'll-
share or screenshot?
Screenshot.
Share.
screen share. I think it's in the,
Screenshot, it's called.
yeah, I think it's in.
Wait a minute. No, there's a different one. There's
It's-
another
Yeah.
one called Screen Sharing.
Yeah.
It's in
All right.
in utilities, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, it's called screenshot. I'm sorry. It's in utilities. Drag that to your dock, and it's like, why they don't put it there normally? Because all of those shift makes it do something different, and 3 or 4 keystroke things are, especially the things that are not mnemonics that might be useful. It's like, oh.
Hey, you ought to
Awful.
try to explain all this stuff to, I'm going to give my dad your phone number. The guy's 80 some odd years old, okay? And so trying to explain to him, of course, we got him a brand new Mac. His old one was having problems. And I told the guy, I said, keep all your information and just reinstall the software like it's brand new out of the box. I sent him the web page with the step-by-step instructions, everything. Well, he skipped a couple and it wasn't working, blah, blah, blah. So he said, fine, I'm buying a new one. All right, well, that's fine. If you want a new one, we'll get you a new one. So we got him a new one. Of course, he didn't follow the instructions there either. So he clicked one too early and I said, listen, Dad, the object is to make that thing say hello. That's the object, okay? When you plug it in, turn on, it should say hello. Not with your name. It should just say, hey, hello. That's the object. So, and the guy's 80 something. So
Yeah.
we finally get him back where it's like brand new again. I had to reinstall, blah, blah, blah. And he said, now I got to clean off my old one. So I sent him the thing. I said, Dad, the whole thing is it needs to say hello. Okay. I don't care. You took all what you think you have off of it. You're not going to delete all the P lists and all the crap that's associated with all the crap. Okay. So he followed the directions and man, this thing was working great. He almost regretted selling it. He said, them people email him once a week, and tell him how great it is, and oh my God, it was like, he said, I didn't have to spend $1,500. I could have just redid it. I said,
Yeah.
one day you might listen to me, but I'm not holding hope.
Yeah, I decided to get my aunt a computer when she was still alive, and I wasn't about to get anything other than a Mac because I wasn't going to be tech support for an aunt with Windows, and
Oh, I was one of those too.
and a real good friend of mine got married back when the iMacs were CRTs, the education iMac. So I got them an education iMac for a wedding gift because I wasn't going to help them with a Windows computer,
I would spend hours and hours with my Aunt Sandy, again, 80 years old, on TeamViewer, best invention ever.
Yeah.
Okay, because she was in Pennsylvania, hours. And she was a clicker. I mean, man, she'd click 1,000 times and the thing wouldn't be doing nothing. And she was yanking the plug out of the wall. And she was wreaking havoc on this poor computer.
Yeah. My iPad, the cellular stopped working. Occasionally it would say SIM failure. And then if I would reboot it, it would come back. And then it got to the point where it wouldn't do cellular at all. And it's not a big deal because I don't use the cellular, especially now that I'm not going anyplace. But I finally, I had discovered that the Apple Care was running out in like 10 days. So I said, oh, I better renew that. And then I called them up and to try to get it fixed. And they have some neat stuff. If you give them permission, they can see your screen and they can't control things, but they have a big red arrow they can move around to tell you what to do. And I go, that was great. That was just, so they can't do anything on it, or at least in the mode I was in, they couldn't. But they can teach you what to do and point at what you're supposed to click or touch. And I go, yes, that's what it's all about. Plus, if you give them permission, they could run a bunch of diagnostics that I couldn't run on it. And again, they can't do any of that without you giving them specific permission for it. And then eventually I had explained it wrong to the first person I talked to, and they thought it was a SIM problem. And I said, no, I tried the SIM in another iPad and it worked fine. And then they said, well, it sounds like a Verizon problem. I go, well, I don't think so, but I'll talk to Verizon. And then I called back, and then I took a different tact. Instead of explaining the history of how it got there, I just said, it can't read the SIM. And I swapped the SIM to another computer and back, and it works fine in the other computer. And then they eventually, ran a few more tests and said, oh, well, you can send it back and we'll fix it, or we'll send you a replacement and you can send the old one back when you get the new one. I go, sounds good to me. Yeah.
Oh, there
I
it
can't
is.
drag that thing out of there to save my life.
No, I
What?
clipped it to the dashboard or the
Yeah.
desktop.
I can't get it.
You can't.
Oh,
drag
once
it?
you open, go to options.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Keep in dock.
So,
It wouldn't give me a dock. It said the clipboard or the desktop, so I took desktop.
this
but
this is January already, and I just thought I'd ask what's happening for Winter Field Day since we got everyone on.
You're muted.
hi, John.
John's doing sign. The
Laura must be too close.
My sign
Laura-
language is way rusty.
Laura
It's
is also-
non-existent.
Laura is
Laura?
also muted, so
big chief.
yeah. I believe the expression is we're on our own.
There you go, Jim.
Jim's on the same line.
Yep.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I hear him fine.
Yeah.
Earlier I mentioned it, but I'll say it again because there's a better group here now. On Hap and Holly, or actually Holly's Facebook page, they had a picture of them at a restaurant celebrating the New Year's, and I'm looking at that going, what the hell is with these people? They seem like fairly intelligent people. What are they doing at a restaurant on New Year's Eve in the middle of a COVID pandemic? And then a day later, I come back and looked at it and I go, oh, it was a picture from 2016.
Yeah.
I saw something cool that looked like a nice compromise. There were some hotels downtown that said, we really can't host a New Year's Eve party, but what we can do is you can rent a suite for up to 6 people, so you can bring out your family. And what we'll do is we'll supply you with top-notch, our chefs will bring by room service for you, top-notch stuff, champagne, hors d'oeuvres, gourmet cooking and all that for your private party in the suite. Social distance delivery.
I still, it doesn't seem worth it. It just, everything you do that's a little, there was a great drawing that somebody did of COVID protection, and it had a stack of pieces of Swiss cheese, and one of the things was social distancing, and one of them was staying apart, and one of them was wearing a mask, and it showed each one filtered a little bit more out, and none of them filtered everything out. But if you put them all in series, not much got through.
Yeah, that was because there was holes in each one of the approaches individually.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. And each
Absolutely.
one, if one of them, if social distancing, reduces the chances by 30% or 50%, who knows what, and a mask does it by another 20%, well, the chances of getting through a 30 and a 20 are kind of slim. And then if you wash your hands, it's a little bit better. And
If being
it's just-
outdoors reduces it by 95%,
Yeah.
yeah.
So at the zoo, I went to the zoo on Tuesday,
Oh,
Oh,
did you?
neat.
and one of the things I wasn't going to do is use a bathroom inside with aerosolized,
Mhm.
And then I remembered something that I should know because I volunteer there. By Habitat Africa, there is a single occupancy family bathroom with an adult changing table to let guests have needs, right? And it has an exterior door. You don't go into a building.
Yeah.
So I went in, turned the lock, changing the sign from vacant to occupied, did my stuff, and was not in the bathroom with other people, especially around flushing toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those modern bathrooms where
plan.
they have the baby changing station. Now, I've never had a kid and don't know what any of that stuff's like, but as near as I can tell, if you don't like your kid, you take them to the changing station and leave them there, and you can exchange them for another one.
Yeah, and you can also fold it up so the kid is hidden in the wall.
Good point.
I don't think they're that thick.
When I
Well, they won't be when you're done.
when my girls were small, they were I forget where we were, and they only had changing tables in the women's bathroom,
Right.
which I thought was kind of bogus because I never took my daughters into a men's room.
Right.
I have taken them into a ladies' room, and the women in there had no problem at all with me taking my daughters into the ladies' room. You know, it's I don't know.
When I was a kid, I kind of grew up around naked people because I was a swimmer at the Y. And before I was old enough to go in the men's locker room by myself, my mom brought me in the women's locker room. You know, so there I was. And people were not covered themselves up those days. I'm just not old enough. I'm a little too young to be, there was a time when you weren't allowed to wear bathing suits in the pool.
Oh, we had that in high school. And in fact, the word, did you know gymnasium, the word gym actually means naked?
Yep.
Really?
Well, if you think about it, in Greece, you wore all these robes and stuff. Can you imagine trying to do athletics with all this cloth flying all over the place and tangled?
See, I found out when I was swimming at Quigley, because that was it was a seminary, and we had the au naturel swims. And the weird thing was that there were some of the fellers that couldn't roll over real easy. For some strange reason, it was mostly the black guys, but I think it might have had that they had a better keel.
And here I was watching, because we're live on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I could say, no, I won't.
Yeah, that's right.
So I have been working with that TS2000, and every once in a while I'll pull somebody out of 20 meters. So I know at least it ain't totally deaf. It just needs a couple of hearing aids or a trumpet. One of them ear trumpet.
Oh God.
So I had the idea the other day. I ain't gonna do it now because there's water on it, but I wonder what would happen, what if there would be any change to the performance of the antenna if I pushed it out on the ice.
Well, after it breaks through the ice, your transmit and receive capability will go way, way down.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I mean, I think the only problem would be putting it on the ice would be like the counterpoise. If it had one of them days where the sun was out, the surface melted a little bit and then it froze again, I wouldn't be able to get the wire off.
Well, eventually you would.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, eventually. I mean, I was gonna put the tripod out there. I was gonna tie it off in case I had to bring it back up.
I mean, one of the things you can do, John, is put the like a 20 meter mag mount on the element, and then that would give you the counterpoise, and then just drive the element out on the ice.
Well, that's true. That's true.
How much do you trust that ice? You only said it froze a little bit ago.
Yeah.
On a river.
I'm not walking on it.
on a river, you trust the ice never.
No.
You're still in
exactly.
On a
Monticello,
lake,
right?
on a lake, that's it's different.
That's a different
I'm
story.
not going out on the ice. I'm pushing the tripod out with a boat hook.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure. Remember that the tripod's got legs, so all of the weight of the tripod is concentrated. The forces are concentrated on those legs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there
but
may
it's
in
not-
fact be more force than there is on your shoes.
Tie
Yeah,
a
but
floaty
there's
to
not
it.
an awful lot.
How heavy is
know,
your antenna?
Put
yeah.
some water wings on it before you set it out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I don't
you
give
know,
a shit, bro.
you're kidding about the water wings, but what I've seen is people take what is it, a 1x6, and then cut it in a strip, and then they put the legs on the pieces of wood, and that spreads the weight out.
Spreads it out,
It's
yeah.
kind of like snowshoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that's
You just build a raft, and then you can put
John,
it
you
on the
gotta-
river in the summer.
John, you got to go find yourself a nice aluminum flat bottom boat. It'll be a great counterpoise and the antenna will never
Yeah.
sink.
Oh,
Actually, I got a semi V 12 footer at the house. That's the one that almost killed me a couple of years ago when I flipped the thing. How do you flip a rowboat? Really? How do you flip a rowboat?
Hey, I did it with an 8-foot John boat with a little 5-horse Sears Game Fisher on it one day. Oh yeah, it
I
can be
was
done.
anchored, Dave. I was anchored.
Okay, I got
and
nothing
flipped the
on
damn
that.
thing.
I got
have
nothing
never-
on that.
I've never accidentally flipped a canoe, but I flipped this thing.
Well,
Well,
can
you had
stand
to
up
really
on one
try
side
to
of
flip
it.
What happened is I'm facing the bow. Yeah, I was anchored. I'm facing upriver,
Okay.
and I had a bad backlash in my reel, so I take the reel off, and I had another one with me. Rather than spend an hour fiddling around, I just switched reels so I could continue fishing. And as I turned around, I noticed I was heading for the water. Now, the problem was, if I would have just fallen out of the boat, I wouldn't have lost anything in the boat. Because I would have rolled out, the boat would have righted itself. But I grabbed the opposite gunnel, and I
took the whole boat.
I pulled the boat over, and I capsized it. So I'm there, and I'm trying to push the thing, and I'm trying to push it. I'm in, I don't know, probably about 10, 15 feet of water. So I'm trying to kick and push the boat. I know I'm not going to be able to right it. And I'm like, I can't, what the hell? I can't move the boat. This is bullshit. So I swim. Now, this is October. Mind you. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm swimming towards the shore. I get up. I tell Laura, I'm going to need a hand with this. This is bad. The boat's out there. It's like the Poseidon. It ain't good.
It's not looking good.
There's somewhere there's Gene Hackman running around in there.
You're just waiting.
Right. So I go over to the thing and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? So I find he's got a water ski tow rope.
Okay.
And he also has like a 10-foot John boat. And I'm thinking, hey, no way in hell am I bringing another boat out there. I'm going to have to rescue the boat. But he does have an.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We froze.
Hang on, you're frozen.
it was.
But you have a nice looking smile that he froze on though.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's a good
usually
shot.
people freeze in the oddest. Yeah. Make sure you get that screen capture there.
Yeah.
Shift,
Do a
command shift,
screenshot.
4, I think.
I am trying something new. This one's also being streamed on YouTube, so it's
Oh yeah, that's a
He's
good
a
look for you
star.
there, John. I'm going to put that on his contact thing where, all I got's his email address, HF Blows. I honestly think something's wrong with his TS2000 on receive. He's been moving this antenna around for 2 weeks and he hasn't.
Doesn't help.
yeah, but It's the guy who turned over a rowboat.
Well, I understand it. And I
Not
know
only that,
20.
the other night he was texting me. He was trying to get out on 40 meters, and I turned my radio on, and I couldn't hear anything here because it was just all noise.
It was just the conditions have
terrible.
been bad. Yeah.
But the one thing I got to tell John that he's now upset me quite a bit because what happened is I had hooked up my 2000, which I never use for the HF. I haven't used it for HF in a long time. So I hooked it back up for HF, and I tuned it to a particular frequency. And now I had a switch to go back and forth between the 7610, the $3,000 7610, and the Kenwood TS2000. And by God, the 2000 here's better than the ICOM.
Well,
now I'm trying to figure out how I can receive on the 2000 and transmit on the ICOM.
Oh, that shouldn't be too bad.
No, it was clearer. I had more noise on the ICOM, same antenna, same time. Everything was exactly the same.
wow. I don't know. I've never played with a 2000. I know I have a TS590
Oh, I love the
SG.
590.
I have the SG version of that, and it will receive right up there with my Corsair 2.
Oh yeah, I had a 590S. I didn't have the SG, but I had the 590S. And if it wasn't for Ron KD9IPO letting me play with one of those pan adapters for a while, I'd still have that radio. But I fell in love with the pan adapter, so I had to get a radio that had it, and the orders were one of them has to go.
Yep.
And since the 2000 still does 2 meters and 440, the 590 went. But the 590 is a great radio, receives great.
Oh, I love mine.
Yeah.
But I love my Corsair. It received great. I wish I knew CW because this is supposed to be one of the best CW. Mel, you're a CW guy. You're a Ten-Tech guy too, I think, aren't you?
No, I'm not. But
Okay, that must have been Carl that likes Ten-Techs.
yeah,
Yeah, they. I just love the receiver in this radio. The only thing I do not like about it is I'm so spoiled with computer logging, so spoiled. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're moving again, John. So
Yeah.
you had to go rescue the tow. You weren't about to take another boat out to rescue the first one you tipped over.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where we left off.
Hey, Dick's showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Is that the 7610?
I think so.
Probably.
He's
Yeah,
muted.
because
Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm listening to them boys
Yeah.
on 80
That
meters.
is the 7610.
And I tell you, they said, no, you got to get a 7300. Everybody's running ICOM 7300. That's the radio
true.
you got to get. And I noticed one thing. On 20 meters, there's a lot of people talking to other people about various things, some contesting, that kind of thing. The further low you go in the bands,
the more technical it gets.
no, nobody's talking too much about radios or antennas. It's all about power. I'm running 800 watts, and I know I can talk to you about 20 miles away. Hang on, let me go to a kilowatt. I'm starting to realize I'm using 100 watts. I'm trying to talk to stations. I'm trying to, I don't know, maybe like join in a conversation where everybody's doing a couple of kilowatts, and nobody's hearing me. And I'm thinking, there's a possibility it either I'm too weak of a signal for them to bother with, because the only time this ever kind of works is when I'm checking into a net. Somebody will ask, hey, I got something, does anybody got a relay, that kind of thing? But I try to join a QSO, and it ain't happening. And I
couldn't get through to one or the other.
you know, John, I've got an idea on that. If all the stations are using power, what these guys might have done is put on their attenuators so that
Oh,
they're only
Yeah.
hearing the high power station.
sure.
Well, that could be, yeah.
Otherwise, it would ruin their receiver.
Yeah.
But you know, it's ironic that the only band that's really good here is 80 meters. And it's good. I'm surprised it's good for a really, really big chunk of the day.
It is here lately. It has been.
Yeah, but I can hear. I heard a guy in what's an e-call? Is it one of them? Probably Ecuador or
Spain
something.
or
I
Yeah.
can tell you right now. It's here's an
Spain,
EA3 station, Spain. Yeah.
yeah.
I heard them. I heard an SP, and I know that's Poland. On 80.
Well,
I can't talk next door.
Yeah, I worked a
Well,
guy,
you're too close.
W1KRI, who was 3,000 miles, 700 miles away on 8 watts the other day.
I heard you talking about that on the repeater.
Wait. Is that FTA?
FTA.
Or is that,
Yeah, FTA.
Yeah,
Oh,
FTA.
that gives shit, FTA. So I'm talking real radio.
Hey, first thing you know what? First thing you got to do is you have your a Mac laptop, right, John?
Ooh, no, I got a Windows.
Okay. First thing you need to
We've
do
got an
is
iMac also, but
Yeah.
download get a computer logging program. Set that up with your 2000. Okay. I'm serious. Set it up. All right. Because then the logging programs come with the DX cluster. Then if you see something that you get a local cluster, like somewhere in your area down there, Indy, whatever, you're in Monticello still, right?
Yeah.
So you get a sign into a local cluster on your logging software. And as you see stuff pop up, just click on it. Your radio will go there and you can see how you're receiving it, if you're receiving it.
Well, you know, I've got something that maybe John can use. I've got this this handheld signal generator, and what it does is it puts out a certain sound on each one of the bands on a certain frequency, and then you can look at your S meter and say, okay, I'm receiving properly, and then it becomes a problem that's not within the radio.
Right.
And you can select it for different levels, but never enough to overrun your receiver.
Sorry, there's a gigantic crow that just flew right past the window.
It looked like you were trying to eat it.
No, what the hell's he doing? Oh, whatever he wants, obviously.
The only thing I can say to that is squirrel.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, what the hell? What's this?
This was yesterday. No, well, it's actually FT8 with a site, looking at a site called PSK Reporter, and each of these is a station that heard my signal.
Oh,
And-
is it great? Yeah.
And talk about a textbook example for gray line. This is it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I worked 2 or 3 stations in Japan, and I looked at it and go, oh wow, that's pretty, and it goes right down to South America. The whole thing.
No, I've got this one friend in Vietnam that I'd love to talk to, but that would have to be about our sunrise,
Yeah.
sunrise, and I understand this is not the best time of the year to do it either. But I would like to be, I don't know enough, but I'd like to be able to tell him what band would be the best, what time would be the best, and what day would be the best.
What radio do you got?
Well, hey, one thing to remember there, Mel, is Dick's doing this with FT8, which is very weak
I don't
signal.
want to do FT8.
Yeah,
No.
he's making those contacts on FT8. You're not going to do that on phone.
Well, that's where you need the DX cluster.
But
I don't use phone very often.
what you use FT8 for in that case is like you turn on the radio and you power it up and you tune up the antenna, then you do FT8 to see who's hearing you around the world and know if it's worth trying to do voice contact.
I could do
Yeah,
that
yeah,
real
yeah.
easy.
But that's
I
only
could turn on my radio and I know who's hearing me around the world, and that's nobody.
Jim,
Look, just because you can't talk to us 100 miles away doesn't mean you can't talk to a guy in Spain.
Oh, I can't talk to Jimbo in Pigs Knuckle, Arkansas either. I listen to these guys talk about, all kinds of shit. And, like, again, very little about antennas, very little about radios. It's all about amplifiers and the tubes and then this is, you got to do this. And yeah.
These guys know, they talk about numbers of tubes like somebody talks, I mean, I don't know what, I hear them conversations too. And I just keep right on going by because I'm not a power guy.
So, I'm trying to figure out for potential portable operation, which I'm starting to kind of get the idea.
We're going to go to POTA one day, and I'm going to show you what portable looks like. It's going to be simple. It's going to be fun, and you can sit down there and run a pile up because you got that distinct voice, and you would run a pile up perfectly.
The only way I think portable is going to work is if I really get down with CW and use that Pixie Kit radio.
Nope. I'm telling you, I can go out right now, Parks on the Air, take my NFED antenna, a piece of coax, my Ten-Tech Eagle, or I finally hooked up that, what the hell was it called? 706 Mark II the other day to see if it worked. And you go out there with an NFED antenna, a piece of coax, a pencil, paper, and a radio and a battery. And you can sit there and make 100 contacts in an hour.
And if you're having trouble at 100 watts, don't go to 10 watts thinking it's going to be better.
Oh, 100 watts? Yeah. I'm starting to believe, that 100 watts in a wire thing, that's some bullshit is what
No, that's all I got. I do fine.
You need a kilowatt and a 200-foot tower. That should be the new thing.
No.
I refuse.
No, you're thinking too much like George.
Yeah.
Amplifiers amplify problems also.
At least George is talking to people. I'm talking to nobody.
Yeah, well, number one, Jim, you got to tell John where the power dial is on that 200 or 2000.
Oh, I know where it is.
It's easy to find. It says PWR.
Yeah,
I got one of them too.
You push the button and you turn it to the,
nothing.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
will say on the display 100 watts.
Let me explain this.
Share your screen and turn the radio on there. Turn the thing to the.
No. Watch this. Wait.
Here we go.
Oh, there's going to be sparks.
I'm going to drive a radio down to Monticello.
You see the garage door.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, right about.
Looks like a perfect reflector.
Yeah.
Right about where that sidewalk is, just before the boat. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhere out in that general direction, it's about 50 feet from where the radio would be inside the garage. I am separated by a insulated steel garage door, which is, it's a steel garage door. And I got the signal strength meter out, and I'm trying to see if I'm putting out anything at all. And I look down, and that thing's modulating like crazy. I'm thinking, all right, so I'm putting out a signal. And I'm not creating burn marks in the ground so that, the antenna isn't lighting shit up over there. I don't see any birds falling out of the sky, so I don't think my signal is going straight up. But, and I am telling you, I can tell you this, the TS2000 is a fantastic receive radio.
Well, hey, John, I got to say, you had that thing. When you told me the instant you key up and talk, your ALC pegs. So I think you sounded a lot like the teacher on the Peanuts cartoons to everybody listening.
Wow, and I dumped the mic gain.
Yeah, if you got it down lower again.
And it's still the same thing. I think there's a problem with the radio. Either that or the 2000 sucks.
I think it's a problem with John's expectations of the radio.
Well,
and the conditions.
No. My expectation is I want to be able to talk to people.
Well,
Yeah,
you
'cause
know, there's a lot of people I try and talk to that never pick it up too. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just the way the beast is, but
Yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years though. I've been having the exact same. My problem is I have a repeatable problem for 5 years without any repeatable success. I can go out and have one good day, and I know that's it.
with all due respect, John, you spend about 5 minutes and then get frustrated and walk away from it. And if you're not going to spend a lot of time and a lot of frustration, you're going to end up the way you are.
Hey, I holler CQ for half hour sometimes before I get a
I
contact.
reiterate the fact that I have been beating my head into this radio, not this radio, but beating my head into HF for 5 years. I'm not spending 5 minutes and then walking away.
Well,
Laura will tell you, I'll sit there for 2-3 hours putting my call out, trying to get into QSOs, trying to get into nets, and it's just not happening. So,
See, like I got a screen full of people on 20 meters, but I can't hear any of them.
Well, I'd be happy to talk to somebody on 80 or 40. I came down here with the idea I was going to try talking to Paul, KC6YBV. Because I forget, we were flip-flopping between 80 and 40. He could hear me on one, I could hear him on another, but we couldn't talk on the same band. So I said,
you're too close together.
Idea. You what?
You're too close together.
What do you mean?
You're only like 60 miles apart.
No, Paul's in California.
Oh, Paul in California. Oh, that's right. I'm thinking Jeff.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No. So I figured, hey, this is great because I'll come down here. That's
right. Paul's California.
And the noise floor is a hell of a lot less down here, unless you're on. Well, the noise floor on 10 meters is like it's not there. 20 meters is not bad. 40 meters is absolutely horrible, which doesn't make any sense to me. 80 meters has no noise floor at all. It's just dead, unless somebody's talking. You know what I mean? There's no background shit at all, which is weird, but so I don't know. But
It's the conditions, I think, for the most part. But I'll tell you what, when this disease goes away, we'll get together next, and we'll go. Well, it's kind of a hike for you, and there's really nowhere close for.
Oh
POTA.
no, the caboose supposedly is now National Park.
Is it on the POTA list?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
The one on River Road there up in McCook or whatever that is?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go set up there. Bring your 2000. I'll bring an end-fed antenna. And you can talk to your heart's content.
Yeah.
Jay didn't believe me neither. So we get out there, right? I couldn't get a hold of anybody stateside. I'm hollering CQ at 14. I think it was 313 or 310 or something like that. And I'm hollering. And I heard this guy come on there. He was talking to somebody. He said, "Oh, that's that KC station out of the States somewhere." And about then, some other station, Oscar something, come in there. So my first 5 contacts of the morning were like Finland, whatever. And I'm out there with, 100 watts and a battery and a wire. That was it. And I couldn't get a hold of anybody in the States, but I'm talking across seas like I'm on Ma Bell. And then about an hour later, everybody in the States decided to get on the radio, and then it was just a constant pileup. I'm sweating. I mean, y'all don't understand the pileup theory. You guys that do content might.
No, I've tried to get into them.
Sweating, and and Jay is over there laughing with his drone, and he's on his phone putting me on the DX cluster. So now the phone's really ringing. It's like, oh my God, I'll just do anything for a break. And finally you just tell him, listen, man, I got to take a break because I ain't quitting. It's just like, I don't know how them people do contests with like 12 and 1,300 contacts in an hour.
On voice.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Or phone, I should say.
Oh my God! I look at me thinking about it. I'm soaking wet with sweat.
This one friend of mine, he was telling us how many contacts he did this year. and it was about 50,000 contacts this year,
Good grief.
and not FT8 kind.
I probably got about 300 contacts this year.
I got about 900. So in sideband and CW, because I know it's from this year because I really didn't count them from last year. But you know,
What did I get at field day?
I thought you did about
100?
no. I can't remember.
Yeah, I thought at Winter Field Day on your 2000, you had about 150 contacts.
No. I had the first contact. The first contact was Alaska. The second contact was Poland, and then I got relegated to the kids' table.
Oh,
and
that's right.
I didn't spend a lot of time.
No, that wasn't this year.
Yeah,
No, that
last
was
year.
last year.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, 'cause I thought-
didn't have 100. I don't know where we ended up.
we did it in your backyard.
Yeah. But we also used it. We also used the 130, which is a radio that actually works.
Here we go.
Yeah, I had a great time with that.
Oh, my whole thing is that I think what's going to happen should winter field day eventually return to normalcy. Eventually, I got my fingers crossed with the vaccine. Brandy already got hers.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Good.
So that's good. She wasn't going to get it, and for some strange reason they weren't making it mandatory. When they had the H1N1, what was that, about 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
That was mandatory. And that wasn't killing people like this.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, and even the fire department didn't make it mandatory. We had to have the hepatitis B vaccine. That was you had no choice on that. You had a year to get the thing. The H1N1 was mandatory. This one is like, you get it if you want. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah, I don't understand why it wouldn't be mandatory. I know I went to see my doctor the other day and I asked her about it and she said, yeah, she's on the list to go get it. I said, well, are you going to get it? Do you trust it? She said, yeah, I'll get over there next week. She says, I'm going.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I want an end to this shit.
I know everybody wants an end to it, but.
I know eventually it'll go away on its own, but I don't want to wait that long.
Yeah, I don't want this to become, we've already accepted that, most of us have accepted that, this is just the way it is right now.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you still get the guy that don't wear a mask and, he's all over the news for causing a ruckus and all this, that, and the other. My God, man, it's a freaking mask. Walk in, get your groceries and go the hell home. It takes you 2 seconds.
The way I understand it is that he has a right not to wear a mask, and I agree with that.
Yeah, but don't wear it at home.
The proprietor of the store also has a right not to serve the bastard in the store.
I agree with you.
America.
Yep.
And they can kick you out of there. That's fine. I mean, I don't wear a mask if I'm walking around here, if I'm walking downtown Monticello, if I'm walking back home. I don't wear a mask because I don't run into people.
Right.
I got one in my pocket if I got to
You're
have
not
a conversation.
in a. Yeah, if you were going to walk up to a group of people and have a conversation, you'd put your mask on.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I always
because you got common sense, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, which comes back to the HF. Now, no. This makes sense. This makes sense. Why do I go with the tech committee to the repeater? George brought it up and he nailed it. I don't go there to do a damn thing because my technical, what would you say?
Expertise.
My offering to the technical committee is zero. I'm there as the medic.
There you go. That works.
No, yeah, it does. But I was a medic for 38 years.
I
don't want to do it anymore. But what I'm finding out is
That don't mean you won't if you have to.
No. That's what I am. Do you remember when Spock wrote the book, or when Leonard Nimoy wrote a book, said, "I am not Spock"? And
Yeah.
then he wrote a book a couple of years later and he said, "I am Spock."
No, don't remember that one.
It's the
No.
same theory. I have got it nailed. Field day rolls around. As it's going to roll around, I'm going to set up the WV9MJS Memorial First Aid Station. That's what I'm setting up. That's my station, is the first aid station. At the end of field day, I take down my station, I put it away. I don't need batteries, I don't need wires, I don't need radios, I don't need it. All I need is my medical shit. That's what I can offer. And I did it relatively well. At least I never ended up in court over anything I did. I went to court many times, but not because of what I did or did.
Oh,
Well,
there's
you know, it's also
perfect radio for
when
John.
when we go to the repeater, it's also nice to have one more guy to schlep the stuff up.
Yep. Except the schlepper just
Froze
locked up again. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm scared of heights, so I don't think I need to go.
Yeah.
You actually have to go a
I
long
need
way when you go to the
coffee.
repeater to be able to see outside. So
I'll let it do its thing.
Oh, you're back.
I would be more than happy to help if anybody needed, but I'm kind of like John. I really don't have any technical aspect other than schlepping stuff. So
well, that's
I don't
Get
have
them at
the.
Laura's house.
And I would bring my camera. I would sure bring my, DSLR and be the, photographer for the morning.
That would be good.
I really love photography. I should do it again.
So, Senior Jim, how you doing on getting that last page of the Grumpy list in the PDF file?
Jim hasn't sent me anything. I'll just make up a bunch of names and I have to get off of GoDaddy. They won't even help me.
So you can't even add the last page to the PDF file?
I can't add anything right now. I can't, they don't, first of all, GoDaddy doesn't have any tech support for anything other than business accounts on the weekend. Second of all, I have to call them between 8 and 5 during the week. Normally, I'm at work during that time.
Yep.
And so I'm getting everything moved over to Bluehost. I'm working on that. So we'll get rid of that problem. And I'm just going to pay for it out of my pocket because I'm not going to charge the club for that. They already paid for GoDaddy all the way out till 2023. So yeah, I'm just going to pick it up out of my pocket and be done with it because I guarantee you I spend 4 to 6 hours a week on the phone with GoDaddy for the last month.
Oh my God.
And their only answer is $49.95 a month for a business account.
Yeah.
That will fix everything. I've already moved one domain off of them, and all of a sudden I got a customer retention email, and they're willing to give me a break on the price, and they'll work with me, but I've already got a Bluehost set up, so
okay,
we'll get it there. I can send you the list of Grumpies if you want that. I'll send you the PDF of all the Grumpies.
Yeah, because I can't understand why the final page isn't showing up on the PDF file.
Because I put the PDF file up there, and then GoDaddy re-puts everything back into their computer because we're on, I guess we're on some sort of Linux-based machine there, and it keeps crashing. So they just go to the archive, they pull an old page, and they dump it back up there. The other day I went in there, and the opening page was all about Field Day 2018.
Okay, yeah.
So they just pull this old stuff and they say, well, go ahead and reload your files. But right now I'm locked out. So, yeah, and I can't get back in until I call them on Monday and say, here's my passcode and please unlock the account. And
well, they should be able to even unlock it on the weekend.
they don't do tech support for anything less than business accounts on the weekend. They do
Oh,
have
man.
Salesforce on the weekend. I can, if I want to go ahead and pay for the business account, I can do that any day, weekend, Sunday, you name it. Even
24 hours a
holiday.
day. Yeah.
But if I want somebody to go in there and do something technical, it's 8 to 5 and it's Monday through Friday. And that's all they're willing to do with it.
No, I mean,
That's a bummer.
GoDaddy is not at all the best.
Oh,
No.
no, they've really gone downhill big time.
The
Yeah.
actual domain registrations are all Gandhi and Paris.
Yeah.
For,
Well,
for a
they
number of
lost.
reasons, which
They
was-
lost Danica, right? Or did they refuse to
Yes.
pay her?
I think she's gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll send you the PDF file. The list is up to date, but that just doesn't display correctly on GoDaddy.
Right.
And I got to build a whole new page and put it up on Bluehost. And then I'm just going to tell GoDaddy, just forward everything from that domain to this page.
Yeah.
And that I'm sure will work.
Yeah. I hope so. I'm leery of the way they've been doing stuff. If you know, because forwarding is, it's a simple thing to do, but yeah.
Well, if I get a problem with that, I'll pay for having the domain moved over to Bluehost.
Yeah.
But I've really gotten to the point where I'm not willing to work with them anymore because this just keeps getting more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
I upload the page. It works for 2 or 3 days. And then usually around Thursday or Friday, I get somebody calls up and says, the page is wrong. And I go home and I upload the page again and it works for a day or 2 or 3. And then I get a call, there's something wrong with the web page.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know it was work. Because I remember when you said you got it all up, and I went out there and yep, everything was working except the 4th page of the PDF file.
Yep.
And then 2 days later, I go on and I got the scrolling lines again.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay.
So I'll have to upload a whole new page, but before too much longer, I'm going to be done with them. I'll get them to unlock it on Monday. I'll upload the whole page again on Monday, and I'll tell you to go get your files before Thursday, because that's what you'll have to do. I've just had nothing but headaches with GoDaddy.
Yeah, I was very fortunate when I was using them because I was a non-for-profit and they were more than happy to help me. And then the one person that helped me said, wait a minute, you know more than I do. We're hiring techs and you work from home.
GoDaddy.
Oh, yeah, right up your alley. Part-time right at home.
Yeah.
GoDaddy used to be a good company. They did a lot for me. They were really good. But in the last year, they have just totally taken an approach that you need to pay $50 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They really are centered all around people registering domains and then trying to resell them to somebody, trying to make a profit. Every one of my domains, it has a number on there that says this domain is worth, like w9jgh.com.
Yeah.
Says this domain is worth $275. They want me to list it, then they will sell it for me. They'll get a little commission, and I go out and I register 1,000 domains. They sell 50 of them. They make money. I make money. That's their business model now.
Okay.
I've gotten offers.
Cyber squatting.
I got offers from them to sell my domain name, and I just keep on holding it. It was my business domain, but I don't want to change my email address or anything. It was reliable.net.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that's worth money.
Before everything got going with Harry Potter and that, I've registered and I still have thewizardsworld.com.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
What kind of offers have you got for it?
They want that.
Oh, I
They
wouldn't.
do.
But that's on a totally separate account. That's not part of the 6 Meter Club account.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's frustrating.
Yeah, because that's the thing I'm upset about with a lot of things. They all want to do the monthly subscription.
Yep.
And the monthly subscription is more than what I paid for the original software.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what that's what Microsoft Office is going to do. Everybody is going to have to switch to 360 next year.
Yeah, 365.
They're going to have one more standalone before next year, and then at the end of next year, the only way you can get Microsoft Office is a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
Well, that's what oh man, what's that photo editing? Adobe Photoshop did.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Like Apple used to have Aperture. It was a one-time purchase, $100. I still use it. It's a great program. It's easy to use, and it does.
That was a nice program. That was
99% of what any photographer needs.
Yeah.
Now these, you know, people that take photographs and turn them into, you know, all these different effects and stuff like that, they might need Photoshop. But my theory is if you take a good photograph to begin with, you don't have to spend 11 hours trying to turn it into something to look at. So,
you know, the business model is if we go to the monthly subscription, we do not need to develop new and better products. We just have an incoming flow of money. So we can get rid of all of our developers, we can get rid of all the engineering people, and then make a huge profit.
Right.
In 5 years, we'll either have something else or we'll just go away.
Yeah.
And look at how many companies have followed that model.
And they're going away already.
Yeah, oh, they are. But, you know, you make $1 bazillion now, who cares? 5 years from now, you go away.
That's right, because the big shots still got their money.
Exactly.
They do. They get theirs.
And the minions are left on the street.
And the big money goes to the people who are out there buying these other companies.
Yeah.
You know, somebody develops something really good, and the next thing you know, Microsoft buys them, and then they disappear.
Yep.
Well, yeah, they buy the competition. That's what these big conglomerates do.
Yeah.
That was advice that I got years and years ago. They said, if you want to get incredibly rich, just write some program that irritates Microsoft.
Yeah.
And they will
or
come
IBM.
along and they will buy you.
Or IBM.
Or, well, yeah.
Because, I mean, I can't believe that IBM actually bought Crazy Guy's security.
Yeah.
But then they also bought MX Logic, too, which was one of the best softwares for controlling spam and everything else. But since IBM has it, it's gone downhill from what I've heard.
Yep. Hey, guys, I got the lunch sitting upstairs, so I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, I got to go get some lunch, too, so I'm going to
7-3.
depart. So everybody have a great new year, hopefully.
Yep.
We'll get together physically soon.
Hope so.
Although Zoom works unless we freeze, so.
This is certainly more convenient than driving down to a restaurant.
True,
Yeah,
but
the
I
food
like
isn't
the
as
food
good.
at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh man, where's that? There it is. Everyone, Kevin. All right. Yeah. Dick. I got this thing right.
Okay.
At one time, I was scrolling around looking, and it had a menu on it somewhere. It had like 160, 80,
Yeah.
40, 20. Where is that?
When
Because
you're
I've
in
never seen it again.
when you're in a mode like the SWR mode, press 0,
Oh, okay.
and that'll bring up the menu of the bands.
Ah, okay. All right. I was looking for that. I'm like, oh, come on. When you're in like SWR mode and then press 0. Ah, there it is. Figured, I knew if I asked somebody who knew what they were doing, they'd have the answer. Believe it or not, it ain't on the website. It ain't on the it ain't in that little book that, I don't know who's meant to read that little thing,
Really?
but it surely is not me.
Well, it's probably in the Ukraine version, and they didn't translate it to the.
I was going to send it back. I thought, man, is this thing really worth $500? But I think it really is.
It's nice.
Nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I like to build antennas, which John is going to have to start instead of his easy alpha. He's going to have comparison antennas so he can
Oh,
put
I
his mind
do.
at ease.
Yeah.
With
I
you?
do. I got a 20-meter dipole sitting at the house. I got an NFED
said
for
with
20
you.
meters. NFED doesn't do shit.
Oh my
The only
God.
antenna that's ever worked, the only wire antenna that's ever worked, is the 20-meter dipole.
Well, it's a good antenna.
The
20
NFED
dipoles.
worked 1 year.
The NFED is an awesome antenna. I love
NFED
mine.
piece of shit.
No,
I set the NFED up.
Did you build it?
Yeah,
You built it?
I did.
I'm not talking about the 9-to-1 unun. I'm talking about a 49 or 64-to-1 toroid, the transformer. I'm not
No.
talking about a 9-to-1.
I built a 9-to-1. I made 60 contacts on it on 40 meters. The next time I used it, same spot, same tree, same picnic table. Couldn't get it to do shit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those. But my 49-to-1,
Oh, I'm really not a big fan of NFED.
well, that's more like a random. It's not a really NFED dipole kind of thing.
Well, that's whatever. It was fed from the end.
It was, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
you need to try a real NFED half wave antenna, and you will change your opinion about it.
I don't know.
It's such a high what do you call that, impedance at the feed point that you really don't need much of a counterpoise at all. A meter, 6-10 inches, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful antenna.
I've heard people talking all over the world about loading up rain gutters and downspouts and chain link fences, and I believe that's all bullshit.
No, you can do it. It's how
No.
efficient it is. I don't know. I've never tried it, but here it is. If your rain gutter is whatever, say just short of 10 meters long, it'd make a great 20-meter antenna.
Cool.
You just have to put a counterpoise underneath it of the same length, and you would have a very efficient antenna.
What I'm experiencing from what I'm listening to on the radio, what I'm listening to on the internet, what I'm reading in
He freezes.
I swear I'm not doing anything to cause that.
Is he on a Windows machine? I'm just asking.
What?
You're frozen or freezing.
Could be an internet thing.
It could.
Yeah, but Laura's is okay. Oh no, yeah. So. Laura, you're muted, so it.
Meanwhile, Dick, did you see that new antenna that goes with the 705?
The mag loop.
Yeah, yeah.
The Alpha mag loop that ICOM licensed, or
yeah.
the deal.
I just wondered if you had looked into it.
It looked awfully expensive.
Oh, it is awful, but
yeah,
we do awful things.
I mean, I've got the Chameleon, which is probably a better mag loop antenna anyway. So it's.
Well, I like the Chameleon because John's back. Okay, John. Yeah. Are you really back, John?
I don't know. Am I frozen or is it
you're talking.
You're back.
Yeah.
The thing about the AL705 is that it allegedly fits in the backpack. That's probably its biggest sales point, I think.
Yeah.
I already have something that doesn't fit in the backpack. I mean, I can throw it in an IKEA bag.
Yeah, I've got a tuner from ZDG, and it looks like it's a lot smaller than the ICOM one.
Was that the little one with the knobs?
No, this is where did it go? It's packed away. It's maybe that square, 5 inches square and an inch thick, and it's an automatic antenna tuner and just plugs right into the TRS jack on the radio, and it worked very nicely. So
Did you say it was from ZDG?
yeah, the Z100 Plus, I think it was.
Are you sure it's not LDG?
LDG, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
Who,
Google was correcting my search.
Yeah, I heard Klaus actually wrote some manuals for them.
So I'm looking at it like I don't know if I'm going to really need a tuner that much, because the antennas I'm likely to use with the IC705 are antennas I can tune. So
Yeah, so then
the Rig Expert's nice, but I'm going to put the Nano VNA in the backpack.
that will work too. It's just a little more involved, a little. You got to do the calibration all the time. I'm not sure why it doesn't have to happen with the Rig Expert, but
Yeah. But also close is probably good enough.
yeah.
If the difference is between, the SWR is 1.2 and it should be 1.1.
Yeah, and you're more concerned with a relative thing anyway. So you're tuning it. You tune it for the minimum. What that absolute value is terribly important. It's,
Good point. Yeah. And
Don't need a tuner.
yeah.
And the thing is that the Mag Loop, the Comet, Toy Box antenna, and the Buddy Pole are all tunable by adjusting their elements for capacitors anyway.
Hello,
There's the
April.
boss. There's the boss.
She comes by Saturday mornings to water the plants in here, so it's always comes by and waves hello, and that's nice.
Any of you coffee drinkers who don't have an espresso machine are really missing out.
I never understood espresso. That was
This is an Nespresso machine. It's the NES Presso. Yeah. It's just a real strong. You only need one, that's for sure.
I wonder if I have any coffee that's fresh.
Oh, I know. I ran out, so I used
on the
wife's
planet
Nespresso.
or at your house, Kevin.
At my house.
Oh, I can't help you there.
But on the planet, I don't get to go to the whole planet.
Where's
It is
there?
getting to be next couple of days. It's time to make an Amazon Fresh order.
Ah,
My boss gave me a ham that was 30 pounds.
Wow.
Well, that freezes. You won't be buying meat for a couple months.
I was like, this is like a half a pig. They just chopped the legs off of it. Okay. And then he called it a ham. I never seen a ham that big. He goes to some butcher in Chicago and buys like 100 of these things and hands them out to all the employees, And I'd never seen anything like this. I was.
Are you going to cure it?
No, it was
do it
already
next year.
smoked.
Oh.
But you still had to cook it. You had to heat it to like 140. It took like 6 hours at 315 or something like that. But it was the best ham I've ever eaten in my life. I left the skin on it. I just scored the fat and threw it in a roasting pan and shoved it in the oven. And as soon as the thermometer hit 140, I pulled it out, leave it set, half hour or whatever it was while everything else was getting ready. And it was the best ham. Because usually I'm not a fan of, the honey hams and all that crap you get at the grocery store.
Sorry.
I'm really not a fan. But when I ate this thing, I was in love. I was like, it was like, oh my God, it was the best ham I ever ate. I'm going to have to find out where he got it and get some more of those. But
it's almost 1:00 and we're starting to talk about food. I think it's
yeah, food time.
I want to cure John's radio problem.
I did.
Your whole
Oh,
HF
wow.
thing.
I did.
Without binning it.
No, I'm just not bringing it to field day.
I don't know. We're gonna come up with a solution.
Here, I'm posting my picture. That's the rotisserie chicken that I made in the Ninja Foodie
Oh yeah, that's right.
for New Year's Eve.
Nice. We had corned beef.
Oh, I'd like that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I've been eating chicken for a few days. That was a 4-pound chicken.
I go to Costco and get them rotisserie chickens. And
Ooh.
that's the best $5 a man could ever spend.
I can't see
convinced.
it.
Did you?
Picture?
Oh, you have to go to download it, John, on the
Oh, okay.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had 2 Instant Pots, and so my brother for Christmas bought me a Ninja Foodie, which is another electric pressure cooker for the heating element.
Yeah,
And
April's
it's a little bit to clean, so I use it for making chickens, and that's about it.
April's
Okay.
got an Instapot. I'm not sure if she's made anything in it yet, but she's got a bigger pot that she'll put a whole bunch of stuff in it and then let it cook overnight, and it's comes up with some good soup the next day. And,
Laura,
There's
can you
my
see the
ham.
picture? Because I don't have permission to download.
There's my ham.
I ain't gonna look. I ain't
Tells
gonna be
me
able
the
to see it anyway.
JPEGs are potential security issues.
yeah, that's a new. I haven't heard of any in a image file, but
Well, if you open it with a program that has a bugged version, old version of libjpeg, there are exploits.
Yeah, well, I got the file. I just can't open it. It
Oh.
downloaded, but I don't have permission to open it.
wow.
I think
Yeah.
technology doesn't like you.
Well, there it is.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
See,
I got an Instapot that
here's
never
the
left the
thing.
box.
Here's the thing. I can go and I can spend several $1,000s on radio equipment that I'll never use. Or I'll never, let's put it this way. I could buy a hell of a receiver that'll do me just as good as every transceiver HF that I have. Or I can use that same money and buy an AED,
The heck's that?
which is actually a useful piece of equipment. Hopefully it never has to be. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there, I'm thinking.
I don't know how to work this stupid thing.
So you put the
Awesome
pads
plan.
on and then you set it to analyze.
Oh shoot.
Now the kicker is I can get a manual defibrillator, but there's only one of us at the house here that knows how to use the thing. And the problem is if I go down, I'm screwed.
Well, teach Laura.
I thought she's
Yeah,
going to
I
nurse. I thought you got one of the kids in nursing school, don't you?
No, I got one that's a medic.
There you go. She'll figure it out.
She's actually a lead instructor
There you
and
go.
a
She'll
critical
figure
care paramedic. So
Yeah, but you're
I
not
am
going to
going to be. I have 2 years to do it, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get my license back.
it. Go teach.
No,
Just
It-
have it.
I'm probably not going to do anything with it, but it's kind of like
It's better to have it and not use it than it is to want
well,
it
I
and
always
not get
have
it.
it. I always
Right.
have
Well,
it.
you have the knowledge, right?
But the thing is that as I don't know if it's a function of age or maybe I didn't spend enough time tinkering with radio, which I should have been. As much as I want to be able to do it, it seems that coming back to what I should be doing in the first place. And so I think that kind of, how would you say it? You remember that song by, what was it, Leo Sayer, The Show Must Go On? You know, although I've chosen this life, it's strangling me now. That was EMS.
Okay.
And that's why after 38 years, I didn't want to do it anymore. But now I'm finding out that's the only damn thing I can do. That's my fault.
Well, I've seen you make an awful lot of contacts on the radio, so
yeah, but I can't repeat
more
it.
than I did.
Well, I looked it up, John, and it was 54 contacts we did in your backyard.
Well, that was cool. But I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I think it's the pandemic. I mean,
oh no. This
the pandemic's actually helped to some extent. It's more of the sunspot cycle is getting a lot better.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I
It's on
mean,
the
in terms
rise.
of the fact that we can't get together, right? And one of the things about ham radio is people have an Elmer, you have your community, and the thing is that it's probably something subtle and stupid, where if somebody came over, they would go, "Oh, look, I think that's the problem," and you would go, "Really?" And you go, "Tweak," and it works.
Yeah, but that's very possible.
But the thing is that we're not able to come and
do
get
that sort of
together
stuff now.
and look at it together and figure it out. I mean, I just sent a message to Scott and I'm like, the mag loop won't tune. The motor's turning, it's hitting the end stops, right? And so he built the thing. He says, the big gear is probably loose from the shaft. And I'm like, okay, I'll open it up later. But that piece of information is crucial because he built this mag loop and he knows what the works are like. And he's like, oh yeah, it can get loose. So you might need to go in there and tighten it.
No, I get you.
That's going to be John's next antenna.
No,
Okay.
I have had everybody sit and look at this radio. Not the 2000, but the 130. And well, it tunes up, it's putting out 100 watts, still talking to nobody. I don't know. So I how would you say, reluctantly acquired the TS2000. And I was anxious to see this. Yeah, it worked once. And then it used up whatever the hell it had, and it's done. And like I said, it's a great receive radio. You can hear shit. DC to daylight with this damn thing. Talk to anybody? I had, I live at 51st and Linder. I talked to a guy at, I want to say 47th and Kilpatrick on 100 watts on 40 meters. That's pretty much what I can do there. And I can do that with 5 watts on an Alinco DR235 and a hell of a lot less antenna and wire and bullshit. So, this is something this has been ongoing since 2015.
It can be something really stupid.
It's just a repeatable cycle.
How long are you going to be in Monticello?
You what?
How long are you going to be in Monticello?
Don't know yet.
I was going to say, I will mail you a stinking radio that I know works, and I made contacts on it yesterday.
I know this radio works. I know it's.
It doesn't sound like it with the way you're talking about it.
Well, let's put it this way. The likelihood of every HF radio I've tried to be faulty is probably very slim.
Oh, no. I don't think so because, listen to my dad here lately. I used to think that way, but no. Things just happen to him too. Nobody else, just him. So,
But you know what doesn't break? Is the shit that's in my medical bag. That works. That works all the time. That works whenever I need it. It's never failed.
Keep it simple, stupid.
I thought you've lost people.
Well, I have.
Oh.
I have. It wasn't my fault.
That's
Yeah,
not equipment failure.
Yeah, I've had it too, but not a lot of them.
I don't, I just, like I told you, man, I walked out there with my tuner on my, I don't use that. I told you about the cobweb antenna. I haven't used that in years, right? It's just been sitting up there in the weather, and the coax is laying on the porch. And I walked out there with my brand new tuner the other day, and I put that bad boy on 20 meters, and it went like this. I was like, it's still in great shape. It's just waiting on John to take it home.
No, I got that Alpha. I look at that thing, where that thing is tuning up. It's amazing. I don't even need to use the antenna tuner on the radio.
Right.
It's fantastic. And this damn thing works. I know it works.
I know it works. I saw it.
I've used it. Great. Attach it to the radio. Nothing. SWR is great. Power output's great. Everything's great. Talking to nobody.
You need a radio. You always go you need a comparison radio. You need to have two of them that you could switch with a switch, or just manually unscrew the coax and tune up the
This one
same.
works all the time.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I've never seen anybody with so many HF issues. I really have not. And in all my few years of doing this, I just haven't run into them.
There is a
Other than those with
possibility.
amplifiers, because amplifiers amplify problems, but you're not that guy.
No, seriously though, I mean, there is a possibility that this is just one of them things. No matter how hard I try, I'm just not destined to do it.
That is
and believe it or not, I'm okay with the logic of this.
No, there's no logic to this.
No, there is.
No,
Because
no.
You know, walking away from 5 years of struggling with this, and I mean, Laura, I'll tell you, I'll sit by a radio for hours trying to get somebody to answer me, and maybe I'm taking too much time. Well, let me just explain the whole thing to you. I bought the radio, the TS-130, in 2015.
Okay.
We drove to, I picked up Steve. We went out to Gurnee to get the radio.
Okay.
The guy had it hooked up to a dipole. We tried it out. Radio works. I give him my $300. He throws in an antenna tuner and a Hustler resonator antenna with the different whips and shit. All right. So I'm thinking, well, okay, cool. So I bring it home. I break out the 12-volt battery. I clamp one of the resonator thingies. I put it together. I think it was 20 or 40 meters, whatever it was, to a boat trailer with the boat sitting on it, the aluminum boat. I'm thinking, there's enough shit here to at least something, right? I get into the QSO party in Texas. This was Saturday. Sunday, same boat, same antenna, same trailer. I'm hearing them. I'm talking to nobody. So the next Saturday, I go to the breakfast. And what I hear is, oh, the problem, I know what the problem is. The problem is you don't have any radios. You need radios. You need radios. And I said, this is a mobile antenna, right? Doesn't matter. You have to have radios. And I'm thinking, it's on a boat trailer.
Right. You have a ground
Doesn't
plane
matter.
established.
You need radios.
Yeah.
And I says, okay, this is the kind of antenna that you put on a car, right? Yeah. I says, do people ride around with these wires like shoved out? No. I says, and it worked. It worked one day, didn't work the other day. Doesn't matter. You need radios. And I'm thinking, what the? Yeah. So, all right. So I got rid of that. So in comes the 20-meter dipole. The 20-meter dipole. I mean, I was to the point. I didn't give a shit about antenna tuner. Didn't give a shit about SWR. I don't care if the radio bursts in flame. I took this hunk of, I'm not figuring out why. It's got a hunk of RG59, about 4-foot section, which I later found out was to match the impedance. I get it now. And I just take the RG58, plug it in there. I get the vice grips out. I put that sumbitch on the radio. and I'm talking to everywhere but the United States. I'm talking overseas. Great. It's just great. The thing's like 8 feet off the ground. I'm talking everywhere. That's the only antenna that's ever worked repeatedly with the 130. So then I get the MFET or random wire, whatever the shit that thing is. All right. I use it at a winter field day. I used it at a field day in Bourbonnais. Put that stuff. George and I threw it up in a tree. We got it going. 60 contacts. We were having a beautiful day. Next year, I'm thinking, yay, I'm going to get out and do this again. So I hang up there. George, what do you think? Yeah, looks good. Plug it in. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. You know, I walk around, everybody's got, oh yeah, I got this here, the shit's going, you know, and I'm thinking, well, I'm looking at, I'm talking to nobody. Yet again, here we go. So I went to the car and I got the axe and I cut the NFED down from the tree. That was very satisfying. Keep an axe with you. When the antenna pisses you off, cut it down with an axe. Works great. I also found out that people don't argue with you when you're carrying an axe at field day, particularly when you got a cigar going. So,
well, that and you're 6'7" or something like this.
Well, it's just a great visual, you know. But then I get to, you know, the whole thing is, oh, you can't give up. And I'm thinking, no, this is giving up. 5 years and then saying, hey, you know what? Maybe this, you know, if I was ice skating and I broke both hips and ankles and I had a tumor in my head from bouncing it off the ice so many times, and I says, you know, maybe, just maybe this, nobody would argue at this point. Is it? Yeah, this guy's pretty messed up for keeping up with this shit. But you get into radio, it's like, nah, you got to keep it. You just got to just keep, you know. And I know it, and I appreciate it, but just there, it just reaches the point where it's, this horse is pretty damn near dead, or it's in hospice. One or the other.
I refuse. You know, the concept is simple, John. It's a very simple process. You don't like to complicate things. I understand this. So there's something simple, like Kevin said, you know, we can't really get together right now to diagnose these things.
Yeah, but I haven't found it in 5 years.
Well, if you practice something wrong for, you know, a long period of time, it just becomes natural. So maybe there's something that is not quite right. So we're just going to, like I said, we're going to do a POTA activation, and we'll take your equipment. I'll bring my antenna and we will set you up, and I'll sit there. I'll even make a video so you'll believe me in 2 years that it happened.
I might put money on this.
And you're going to run a pile up for POTA, and with your own equipment, I guarantee you, as soon as you holler Parks on the air, the line forms.
No, you know,
I don't think you didn't bring the 130 with you. All you have is a 2000, so you can't do a comparison. Your meter says it's working, but you're getting a hold of nobody. Conditions, like, so I got a screen full of people that I should be able to hear, because this guy in Downers Grove is the one reporting, but I don't hear anyone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just location, like just WPG.
I get that, but when you set up in the same spot that you did a week ago or a day ago, and you were having success with the same equipment, and
it changes in 10 minutes.
You know,
it's radio.
It ain't changed in 5 years. It ain't going to change now.
Well, your luck hasn't, no. But I'm talking about conditions.
Well, I know condition. No, that's another bunch of bullshit.
No, it's not, because you can hear a conversation fading.
Yeah.
I'm talking about within minutes.
This is great. We're going to, propagation. Yay. No, bullshit. I was having better luck when the thing was in the shitter.
That's the truth. Yeah, because it was bad a couple of years ago, and you were talking to Belgium and Alaska and all over the place.
It's funny. It worked at field day once.
It did. What antenna did you have, Dick, that you got rid of? That you put the stake in the ground with the 2 radios? What was that one?
Well, there was the Alpha. That's John's Alpha.
Works great.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's the one you got. Okay.
Yeah. Now it always worked better for John than it did for me, but
Unless something physically happens to the antenna, there's nothing to break.
yeah.
No, there's no moving parts.
Right. So so I cannot say that there's any fault whatsoever with the antenna. The fault has to be either with the radio or the operator.
Well, part of it is, I tried various antennas in the backyard, and I never, hardly ever talked to anybody on voice. I'd call CQ, and no one would come back. I would occasionally find somebody calling CQ and go to them. Nothing would ever happen. And that was the way it was most of the time. Once I got a HF station a few years ago, or I could say since I got my license in '65, it's been that way. I never talked to anybody on HF. But once I had an antenna, a pretty decent antenna up a little bit higher, then occasionally I hear somebody call CQ and can respond to them. I can call CQ all day and night, and no one seems to ever come back to me.
Well, you guys live in town with a lot of noise,
which is just kind of why I like FT8, because people come back to you.
Right.
Well, I would put my money on the fact that people are trying to get back to you, but you cannot hear them because of your local noise. That's why I suggest you guys build these antennas on the ground. There's like a 15-foot square, and it just lays on the ground, and use a separate receive antenna because it doesn't have any noise. It's almost impervious to man-made noise, and it receives really well.
Yeah.
It
does sound like you have a lot of noise there anyway, so.
Right. So I would, location is everything. Like I said, John, go do a park activation. Even, when you get back, is there a park over there close to you somewhere, on the list?
Do you want to hear a story about a parks activation?
Sure.
All of Indiana's a park.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of them.
When we had national parks on the air, they were supposed to activate. It was in QST. They were going to activate Chicago Portage National Historic Site.
Okay.
Which is the only national park that's in the state of Illinois. And Dick, I don't know if you were with us then. I was bypassing breakfast that Saturday morning. I had a thermos of coffee. I had an MRE with me. I had hand warmers. It was like January 2nd or whatever the hell. It was cold. I'm sitting out there at the only Chicago Portage National Historic Site. And I was there for about an hour. Nothing. Nobody there. I'm the only car in the damn lot, so it's not like they hiked in. So I'm thinking, what is this bullshit? So I call the people at the breakfast. Hey, did anybody know anything about this? Somebody gets online and says, yeah, it was canceled. I said, what the hell do you mean it was canceled? How the hell can it be canceled? Well, they're saying it's too cold. I said, it's January. What did they think? It's going to be 70 degrees outside? So I says, enough of this bullshit. I'm done. So that was my experience with national parks on the air. I do have the bumper sticker, though.
Well, this is just parks on the air. Now, there's a lot of state and where the heck is, let's see, Monticello. You are on 421 someplace over there. I know it. So is there anything close to Monticello?
Yeah. Tippecanoe River State Park in Winnemac.
Is it on the list there?
I don't know. I ain't going there.
Burns Meyer State Nature Preserve. What else is up there? Oh, this stupid thing. Their website, another one. Okay, that's Winnemac, north of Winnemac. Let's see. You're not north of Winnemac, are you? No, you're south.
No, south of Winnemac.
Right. Well, this map, there's Monticello. And so the closest park to you would be this, is there anything? Oh, no, there's the Battleground in Delphi or south of Delphi, Prophetstown State Park.
Heard of it, never been there.
That's on the list. Prophetstown, K226. More info. What is it? U.S. latitude. Anyway, there's a state park there.
Burns
So
Meyer State Nature Preserve. Two
There's
places in Beardstown.
Swisher
Something in the
Road,
back of my
West
head
Lafayette.
says that I've been by. Well, I know why. I've been by Prophetstown because Wolf Park-
Prophetstown, Indiana, or Illinois?
No, I've been by that part of Lafayette because I think that's pretty close to where Wolf Park is in Battleground.
No, we're
Could
not
be.
far from Battleground.
Yeah,
I need to go
that's
visit my wolf someday.
they.
That's a sad story. So far, I'm on my third adopted wolf at Wolf Park. The first two passed away.
Ah,
You know, if I ever go, I'll get to meet them while they're alive.
well, that sucks.
Yeah, that ain't good.
It happens. Animals don't live
Yeah.
forever.
No,
So I
we
don't
found
have
that out when we adopted the hippo at Brookfield.
Yep.
Wicket got transferred out to Colorado, and she lasted there for a couple of years, and she passed away. And then Obessa died, so the only one that's left is Adele. I don't
Yeah.
know if we're getting any more. I mean, they're going to have to change the name of the house instead of Pachyderms to Pachyderm.
No, we've got tapirs and rhinoceroses and
Yeah,
I
I
Man,
just
that
want them to stay in existence. That's my big thing, right?
oh, I'm right with you. I'm right
that
with
would yeah. I can't believe like you see these you never hear about it, but you see all the stuff about poachers in Kenya and all over the place. And I mean, what on I don't know. When I was over in Africa, the ivory trade was this is back in the 80s. Most of it was, the Belgians would come there and they would sell all these ornate things made out of ivory. And, as a tourist or whatever, nobody ever thinks of the poacher part of it. They
you.
thought, well,
Belgian bastards.
yeah, well, you just
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
well, maybe, I didn't know anything about ivory. But you just think, oh, okay, well, elephant died or whatever, and somebody made this out of it. And you don't think about that kind of
No.
stuff.
I do have some
Yeah.
rhinoceros horn aphrodisiac if anybody wants any.
No thanks.
I'm kidding.
I don't
I'm
have
kidding.
that
I
problem.
was going to say the black helicopters will be there shortly. Careful with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I actually support the International Anti-Poaching Foundation in Africa with a little bit every month. And what they actually do is they actually guard animals with automatic weapons because that's what it takes.
Goodness,
Because the poachers have them.
what a freaking world we live in.
I like poached eggs.
Yeah, but see, the reason the poachers do what they do is it's illegal to shoot the poachers. So if somebody would sit up there with a 458 Weatherby or something like that and wait for these guys and drop one or two of them, turn their head into a canoe from 1,000 yards, they would think twice.
The poachers track the animals as they cross national boundaries. And so what they do is they'll poach in one country and then, drive a mile and a half and they're in an entirely different country and can't be prosecuted.
Right. Well,
It's
those
bad.
are,
We,
like I said, if somebody would poach poachers, that would deter a lot of the faint of heart.
And the thing is that some of this stuff is just sick what some of these poachers do. So there's
Yes.
a copy preserve in the DRC that copies are pretty important at Brookfield because we were one of the first zoos to be able to breed them outside of Africa. And these people didn't like the fact that the presence of the nature preserve protecting the okapi meant that there were guards around and that. So they that kind of thing brings guards, which will prevent the poachers from hunting bushmeat. So what they did was they went to the nature preserve, killed all the people, killed all the animals, and killed all the people in the neighboring village, just to make sure law enforcement wouldn't be around. It was horrid.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, there is some seriously lawless stuff going on over there.
Well, yeah,
So yes,
I
I
mean,
could send like $10 a month to a foundation that equips essentially mercenaries with automatic weapons to protect the animals.
man, that sounds like a pretty cool job.
I think these guys were like ex-special forces in Australia.
Them guys don't play. Let me tell you something. I've trained with some of the Aussies. I've been op 4 for them, and even in training, they do not mess around. By op 4, I'd be the fake hostage tied to a chair or something like that. And I hate to see how they treat the bad guys, because they will drag your ass, chair and all, out the window. Okay, they don't care. Them guys don't mess around.
The thing that bothers, that is really sick about the ivory trade, and I'll tell you, I watched the National Geographic special in 10-minute chunks between crying over it.
Oh yeah.
That trade supports and funds every conceivable kind of human depravity, from terrorism to human trafficking to prostitution. It's just,
yeah, if they would put the resources,
or elephant.
if they would put the resources into that they do the supposed drug war, that would be a thing of the past. I mean, that would be an easy cure, because if they put half the resources into saving, to prevent that, that's actually winnable.
Yeah, and well, the thing is that national governments in Africa are shy on resources, and honestly, one of the best things you can do to help out over there is to send money, because it's kind of easy to sit here in America where I've got $500 worth of food in the refrigerator in the kitchen and say, stop hunting bushmeat. These people are starving. So if you can do something about the starving, take some of the economic pressure off.
I agree with that, but I want to do something about the starving here before we spend money over there. I mean, they won't. That was one of the things I really got to get upset about. We send $1 billion to Pakistan for sex ed. I mean, serious? Okay, you got starving people all over America and every other country in the world.
I'm not talking about national relief. I'm talking about things that individuals can do, because Americans are among the most generous people in the world. I mean, I also do help out and send a little bit to the food depositories and stuff like that, to help the people over here. But, like one of the things, economic pressures are a thing. So I bought myself a hand knit camel wool cap from Mongolia, which actually supports the local economy, and helps reduce snow leopard poaching.
Huh.
And I've got this really nice winter hat.
So I don't even know where to find these organizations. And I have a big problem. Anytime there's organized money gathering, there seems to be corruption. I have that mentality. So it's like, I don't mind. I got no problems with dragging somebody to the grocery store and filling up their freezer. No problem at all. But to donate to an organization when only 10% of whether it's true or not, you read one article where 10% of your donation actually reaches the people it's supposed to help. It doesn't matter. There you go. Things like that. I mean, I still like Girl Scout cookies. Bullshit. I don't know about the backup failed. If I see this freaking thing one more time, I'm done with this thing. I have a $10 hard drive, Doc. It's been sitting over there in that other computer for 10 years. It just sits in there and it leans up against the wall to keep it from falling over. And I've never had a problem with it. This fancy case and this stupid wire is driving me insane. But yeah, the organized anything I have problems with, man. I can't stand that. You get an organization that makes, a gazillion, they collect a gazillion dollars a year, and only 20% of it actually helps people. I mean, the only organization I know of that the ratio and proportion is in decent shape is like the Salvation Army. A lot of the money donated there actually reaches and helps victims, and Red Cross, and those are the two I can name off the top of my head.
There's a place called Charity Navigator that evaluates the reports from these.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So like I'm looking at the Greater Chicago Food Depository, they've got high ratings. They're 92% of the money that they collect actually goes into their food programs.
I've got no problem.
Does it do all charitable organizations?
Yep.
How do we end up on that?
Well, maybe not all charitable organizations.
I tell you, another bunch of bullshit that well, yeah, who cares? Anyway.
Oh, you're on it. 220 megahertz is on it. They're not scored. I mean, we don't have like there's no data available.
Well, it's not a contest.
Well, the other thing is that we don't take money from people claiming to provide a charitable service like a food depository or disaster relief or anything like that.
No, you haven't read our
profit, but they actually have us in there. There's just they don't really have any data.
Well, is that on the thing like on Amazon Smile? I mean, that just, we didn't do anything to get on there. It just, it listed every, what's the thing, CO.2, whatever the regulation is. What's the
501c3?
Yeah,
yeah. Charity Navigator.
They're all there. I mean,
it's like the IRS Form 990.
Yeah, I mean, whatever makes you get that. Apparently that's public information, and
$400.
Amazon just listed all of them, so it wasn't, and it actually took us a year or two to actually hook up so we'd get the money, but
yeah.
Add bookmark.
I think I'm hiking today.
I like to keep tabs on. I send a little bit here and there. For charitable organizations, better than big donations, they really love having. They really like having better than big donations. They like having a pool of people who give a little bit every month, like a little bit meaning $10.
Yeah.
Because
the Wounded Warriors thing at it costs $19 a month, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But charities, when they get that constant stream of small donations, that tends to stay pretty constant, so they can plan their programming on that. The occasional $10,000 donation that they might get, they can't rely on those coming in all the time. It's kind of like one of my bosses said a long time ago, the game is won on base hits, not home runs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you'd rather have 10 people donating $5 than one guy donating 50.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll donate $5 once a month versus, this guy never telling again, he might donate $50 a year. I get it.
Yeah, I like to see if I can do a little bit of good in the world while I'm still here.
I know I always said that if I'm ever able to retire, I would like to do stuff like, what's that program, Jim, because I'm pretty handy, with a hammer and a saw. I'd like to build houses for charities or, things like that. And Oh, I'm addicted to the show Hometown. I want to go to Laurel, Mississippi so bad. It is
Do it.
ridiculous.
I love watching those kinds of programs.
Well, that show is just what I don't trust a lot of these guys because I've seen some of their work, but the thing is with the show Hometown, the difference is this couple that does this, they live there. They live in this community and they see these people on a daily basis, walking around this small town and stuff. So they're not going to do shoddy work. And I like their work. They seem like, they really do care. It makes a difference in the show. If you guys have never seen it, it's called Hometown. It's I highly recommend you see it. But I'm gonna next summer. I think we're gonna go down there. Maybe I might actually buy a couple pieces of property down there and just sit on it.
Hometown on HGTV.
Yep.
I love shows like this.
This show is awesome. We watched over the last 2 weeks. I think we watched all 4 seasons on demand, and it's just. I would love to do something like that. So like I said, build something like my doctor. Oh, it just made me feel good about all the, but them little tables, believe it or not, these are 2 people, 12 hours. So that's 24 hours in them stupid tables. But it was worth it. The reaction on her face was worth it. So I would love to be able to do stuff like that.
I neither have the tools, patience, nor skill to do that.
It doesn't require any skill. It does not require skill. It requires just a little bit of thinking. That's all it requires.
Measure twice, cut once.
No, measure 2, 3, 4, 5 times, cuss 4, 5, 6 times. But there's a lot of cussing involved and a lot of frustration. That's part of it, though. I mean, but the end result makes it all worth it.
When we were doing stuff around the house, I'd help out my dad when I was a kid, and he was a math teacher, and he would measure things so precisely and so carefully that we're finishing up a wall on the basement, and he cut a stud and he put it between the plates, and it would stay there.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it would just stay there until you nailed it.
Well, I've seen people build some incredible things with very little in the way of tools, and we're Americans, so as a culture, we don't really have a culture. So power tools, and you need all this, and you don't. And what the first thing you need is to use your brain. That's step 1. Okay, so you see people build things with simple tools. They do it more efficient. It'll usually last longer, and they have more fun doing it. Now, you watch people build houses. A house built today will not be here in 100 years. It just won't.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm so sad that I wasn't able to keep the house in the divorce.
You watch a house that was built by a bunch of craftsmen that got together, like the Amish. They build whole towns with pegs and know-how.
Yeah, they're horse shit on the radio, though.
Well, John, you just
maybe you're just living in the wrong culture, John.
Yeah, I should shave off the mustache.
We're gonna yeah get you a funny looking hat and some suspenders. You'd be all set.
Yeah, you could go out and farm and just stay away from electricity and everything.
No, I'm down with that. I'm actually I think I'm going to be gearing up for a hike here shortly.
Yeah, no hiking for me. I took the old microwave out to the alley yesterday, and I'm glad I didn't kill myself.
Ooh, ice?
Oh, it's an ice skating rink.
Yeah, it's not bad here. I gotta see what the hill is like.
Yeah, it's 36 up here. It's
that's about what it is.
Melting.
Yeah, maybe some of this is gonna melt.
Good morning, George. Happy New Year.
Morning,
Happy
afternoon.
New Year.
Happy
Good
New Year,
morning.
George. Good afternoon, George.
We're
Good morning, Mrs. President.
Morning.
We're just thinking about shutting it down here.
I know, and I was thinking, well, here's George, and we're probably we've been shutting it down for the past 45 minutes.
I don't get to see people, so this is this is like I'm enjoying myself. So you guys got to throw me out.
I'm watching from my microwave.
I don't know. I do have to build the neighbor's TV stand.
Ah.
I built a TV stand to go in a corner to fit a flat panel TV, and we don't have the TV anymore and don't have that, but I wasn't going to throw out that cherry stand I built. So
this, I don't even know what kind of wood this is. I have no idea what kind of wood it is. It's really light. It has a grain like mahogany, but it's really light. It's too dark to be basswood, but that's about the weight of it. And but anyway, I got a bunch of it from work. I mean, oodles and oodles and oodles of it. And I glued a bunch of it up, and I was like, you know what? I got piles of it. I put it on Craigslist and told the guy, I said, I don't know what it is. He came and got the rest of it. And
did he say what it was?
He didn't have a clue either, but he wanted it because his wife wanted a trellis, and happy wife and things. So he came and got it, but it's really light. Like, I glued up a panel. It's 50 inches wide and about 2 feet deep, and I bet it doesn't weigh 10 pounds. It's really, really light. So anyway, he wanted a TV stand, and he had this idea, and I told the wife, I said, come up with a design, and I'm just going to build it and take it over there. If he doesn't like it, it'll go in a fire pit. I don't care. I'm tired of listening to this TV stand thing. So that's on the list for this weekend. Other than that, man, the DX cluster is all over the place.
Yeah, seems like there is a little bit of propagation.
There's a VK station, George, on 2 meter or 20 meter.
I might actually try something this afternoon, but I got to fix the magnet.
You guys with your 705s, I mean, are you using it?
With a magnet.
Working on using it, I'm learning it.
Yeah, I mostly used it when I could still go out in the backyard.
Okay.
I did try it here because I hooked it up to the Mac M1 to try that out with that, and then I got it all working, and then haven't done too much with it because I'll usually the 7610 is there, it's hooked up, it's ready to go. You turn it on and do something, But I'm really looking forward to getting outside again. That's
When I ran when we were trying to do HF a week or two ago, I was trying to get the mag loop to 10 meters, and I think I loosened the gear inside of it, so I got to open it up and fix it.
Oh, when we were trying to hear John?
Yeah, that mag loop that Scott built kind of sort of gets to 10.
I was working guys last night on 160.
Wow.
Yeah,
my end fed
is shit.
My end fed is weird. I put 100 and this time when I put it back up, I put on some new wire, and I measured, I think it's 134 feet, and it'll tune 160 very easy.
What happened to Paul?
I don't know. He popped in and popped back out, but the other one would never tune. It was 128 feet, and it just wouldn't even come close to 160. This one does for some reason. I don't know what's different, but
What did you work on 160, Dick?
Oh, let's see. K1T. Let's see. Most of these guys were. The longest one was 500 miles away. K1 IT. I worked N9, 190 miles away. 600 miles away. W5XX. Malcolm P. Cohen. And so things have been pretty good lately. It's a band-wise.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna be still alive by the time that's all gonna be done. And there's gonna be some ham operators left.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you. I think I did. My buddy KB9JXN passed away.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that.
Fucking 67 years old guy,
COVID or other
COVID,
things?
of course, COVID.
Oh, George, when I talked to you yesterday and mentioned about Hap and the Hap and Holly going to a restaurant,
Yeah.
that I looked at that Facebook post again. It was actually from 2 years ago.
Oh.
So my faith in the relative intelligence of Hap and Holly have gone
Have
back
improved?
to normal. Yeah, because I saw that and
Yeah.
I go, "What's that? What's with these people?" You know.
Yeah, when I come to his house and help him with his stuff, I'm putting that high grade mask, which I can't. The 10 minutes and I'm getting dizzy. When I'm seriously this.
Yeah, you can't breathe through them things. I'm N95s.
but
Yeah.
No, they're more than that.
Oh, no.
We got some really bad shit. They are good, but they don't last you can't last very long wearing them.
Yeah.
10-15 minutes maybe, and that's it. And you're just running out of oxygen, and here I am thinking, wow, he's going to the party, man.
Yeah. And
A guy just.
I was glad to see that it wasn't.
What happened? Guy was just got on Thanksgiving with the family, and supposedly his sister's son was infected, and just spread through the whole family.
Yeah.
Three of them recovered. Supposedly, I didn't call him in the last couple of days. Father was in bad shape, but he's like 91 years old. His mother and his wife recovered, and he passed away. It's just
One of the ladies at work.
Just so sad, man.
She had it. Her husband had it, and her stepfather had it, but her stepfather didn't make it. The other two, they.
And there's another story here, right in neighborhood. My wife has a girlfriend, and she visited her just about every Christmas, just kind of bring some little gifts and just spend a couple hours with her, because her kids are away from the house, and she's a widow. So, and this time kids was in a house. They came for Christmas, and my wife says, "Well, I'm not gonna get in. Just she wear a mask." And says, "Just here." She bring the little gifts and this and that, and just left. And she says that her friend was kind of pissed off about that fact, and then. Right after New Year, she's calling her just to wish her, Happy New Year, just to feel out how the things, if she got over that she didn't even visit her, and she said, "Wow, that was good thing you didn't come in and didn't visit, because we all got COVID." Son of a bitch.
Goodness.
Yeah, I'm thinking, son of a bitch, man. I got lots of vacation accumulated, and I think I'm just gonna start taking vacation. Really, I just gonna come Monday, and if there's nothing urgent, then maybe work Monday, Tuesday, and take rest of the week off or something like that. I'm gonna start doing it, because next 3 months that's gonna be really bad, really bad.
Oh yeah. I haven't. Let's see. I told them I've been off since last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Wednesday before Christmas, and I've been to the doctor twice. That's the only 2 times I left the house.
Pretty bad.
I got to go to work Monday, and I'm dreading it.
Yeah, it's just too close to home, when something like that happened.
And it's cold now, so you don't see your neighbors out. You wave or say hi or whatever. So nobody's outside, so you don't really see anybody.
Yeah, and I was looking up because it's hard to find a lot of these stats on COVID, and the most meaningful ones would be like rates of hospitalizations, but that's really hard to get. But the cases per 100,000 in Cook County is something like 40 or something like that, and in Indiana it's 90. Yeah.
Shit. What about
And-
Wisconsin?
I don't know. It's probably not as good there. Although Wisconsin's been going down. Wisconsin's been getting better. Indiana's been going up, I think.
Yeah, I call yesterday. What's his name? My God, just that will come back to Klaus. Klaus to wish him, Happy New Year and all that. And here he goes. He started convincing me that the balance between being paranoid and being careful and all that. Damn right, I am paranoid. And I just
I
kind
got
of
things I want to do yet.
Yeah, that's the way I want to stay for a while.
And you don't have to be really paranoid. You have to pay a little bit of attention to the stuff, not believe things, where the Chicago had a contest for designing outdoor seating things for restaurants. Well, if you make it such that you're going to be comfortable outdoors in January, you might as well be indoors, because that's not gonna do any good, at all.
Yeah, they got like along the what's his name along the Northwest Highway. They got a couple of these tents outside of the restaurants, and exactly what you say. If you're gonna be comfortable in January in Chicago, that's
Now,
just
there's a
I
place.
beg to differ on that one.
Yeah,
I used to take my lunch at the firehouse with a shovel. I would clear off the picnic table and I would eat outside. And that, believe you me, that is big difference than being indoors.
Oh yeah, but they didn't build a tent around you.
Right.
No, why the hell would you do that? You want to be outside, right?
No,
Yeah.
I would eat outside at the zoo. I mean, we obviously want to defer to our guests in the winter when the restaurants are crowded at the zoo. And, as long as I was sitting on something that was dry, I would just go in and get my food. And well, we have places we can go where there aren't guests.
Yeah.
So
there's
behind the coast and picnic tables there. But I don't mind sitting in 40-degree weather and eating.
There's a restaurant called Eris about a mile, or not quite a mile west of us on Irving Park Road, an old converted Masonic lodge, and they built a patio once the COVID happened, and now they've got a pergola over it which is open, and they've got those strip heaters in the ceiling. And I've seen pictures of people there. They're sitting out in their coats and things, but it's probably reasonably warm, and they're not blocking any of the outdoors, the things that make outdoors worth being out in COVID.
Right.
I just don't. I'm with George. I'm just staying in the house.
Yep.
You got that right. Well, I went when we fixed that antenna at Dick's house. I mean, we stay away. I was wearing my mask 100%. I finished that. Said, you know what? Goodbye. There is we're not going to sit and bullshit and because that's not a good thing to do these days. It's just, I would love to, sit down and talk, but you know what? That's not the right thing to do.
I would do it outside. It doesn't bother me outside.
Oh yeah,
not,
right. But when you're inside, no, it's just, you can pay too big of a price for that.
I think that pretty much activities as a group, as we knew it, are done.
I don't. I think it'll go back to normal eventually.
it'll go back, but
I don't know.
you know, you look at what they did in the polio, or no, it was a smallpox epidemic in New York. They got people out. They got out. All the politicians got into get vaccinated, go out, get vaccinated. They're free. We've got them available, you know. And now it's, well, yeah, you can wear a mask if you want to, you know.
Well, that's, you know, and there's mixed messages on this whole thing. There always has been. If they would have said, you know, if they would have like come up with this, granted, it's new to everybody, even those like the CDC, but you know, for somebody to blow off the CDC, I think takes a severe lack of, you know, this is their business.
Yep.
That place is full of virologists, if I understand it right. That's their whole purpose in life,
Yep.
right?
Yep. They know what they're doing.
This is the problem. When you have a bunch of people and get together and they'll sit around and they'll talk about, I had a busted water pipe, I called in a plumber. I had a problem with my electricity, I called in an electrician. I had something going on. I needed this. I had this rotten wood on my eave, and I had a carpenter come over and take care of this. I had a roofer fix this. But as soon as this shit started, everybody on the internet is an epidemiologist.
Is an expert. Yeah, exactly. There you go. I couldn't think of that word.
And the problem with this whole thing is that you got these idiots that somehow, I don't know where they're finding in the Constitution that you have the right to be outside without a mask, because I don't ever remember reading about masks in the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
But they have this thing. Now, Indiana is the state that made it legal for businesses to not serve people if they were gay. You remember that? That was a few years ago. That's legal here. You can have a business.
They can refuse
They can
service.
refuse it if you're gay.
Yeah, but they can't refuse to serve you if you have a
But no.
Yeah.
But these people that are saying I have a right to go into a private establishment because there's no law that says that I have to wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what else they have in Indiana? You ever go into these businesses in Illinois and they got that little sign and it's got a Beretta, it's got the circle with the line through it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a criminal offense in the state of Illinois to bring a firearm into a store that displays that sign. You can be arrested for that. All right, not trespassed. You can be arrested for that. They can lock you up for carrying there. In Indiana, they don't have that. You can have a sign. They can ask you to leave. If you don't leave, you can be arrested for trespassing, but it's not a criminal offense. It's the same thing with the mask. They can, a business can tell you, like they can in Illinois, hey, we have a store policy. You have to wear a mask. You come in this store. Because it's a private business. They can kick your ass out of there at any time because it's a private business for doing anything. But they don't have a grasp on that here. Here it's, no, it's my right. You can't kick me out of the store. So it's the same state that made it legal for a business to eliminate, if they wish, contact with gay people. But God damn it, you better serve me if I'm going to come into that store without a mask.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the mentality of this bullshit. And that's why we haven't been out of this house except twice.
Yeah.
You know, and yet when I come back to Chicago, I'm going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, you know, to me, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to work this because I'm a half a block away from Central Stickney, which doesn't have a quarantine order. You know, and I'm actually having contact with less people here than I would be if I was in Chicago.
Right.
Because I know what these people are doing down here, and you see it.
Well, Indiana, from my observation, I mean, you've been in my, but you know, when I travel, like Monday, I'm going back down to Martinsville.
Yeah.
Martinsville is just south of Indianapolis, but it's like nothing ever happened there. Okay. The restaurants are jammed. Well, they were a couple weeks ago. Restaurants are jam packed. Some people wear masks, some people don't. You know, every place, Walmart, if you drive by that Walmart down there a couple weeks ago, it looked like they were having a giveaway. I was like, I mean, there wasn't a spot to be had. And I'm like, yeah, I want no part of this. Boss is talking about, hey, where are you staying tonight? I'm staying my ass at home. Well, it's late. You're leaving? Yep, you're damn right. It's only 3 hours. If I get tired, I'll take a nap on the way home.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
going.
I was reading a story that there was this town, I forget where the hell it is. It's got a very small population. COVID wiped out the nursing home. Literally wiped out the nursing home. And yet there are people in the town say, it's a hoax. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know where the hell this shit's coming from.
Facebook.
Oh, I know where it's coming from.
No.
It's coming from our politicians, you know.
Yeah, it
Well,
comes
Facebook.
always from the top, John. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
When presidents start, you know, making bullshit about that, and so don't worry about it. They're just few cases. They're just few cases. Just don't worry about it. You know, a lot of people will, you know, kind of
Well,
eat that, drink that Kool-Aid. Okay.
who was that
Yeah.
idiot in Wisconsin that left 500 vials of this vaccine out on purpose? I read that in the news.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He should be shot. That son of a
Well,
bitch. He should
that's-
be hanged.
With multiple felonies.
I was going to say, shouldn't he be charged
For
with
each
500
vial.
counts of manslaughter or something?
He was charged with multiple felonies, including intentionally tampering with a prescription medicine and a couple others.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good.
Damn the bastard.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you know, that potentially could have killed 500 people.
Yeah. Just
You know
just
what?
waste of the time. Just hang the fucker. That's all.
This is the whole thing. You see, what I'm doing, see, is I'm listening to a bunch of people that tell me that HF works. So it's kind of like everybody's like Trump telling me, "Oh no, it's great,
No,
great,
no.
yeah."
So,
just keep
so
that."
you're the one out of the 58 of us, okay? So
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
percentage guy, okay? You're the one out of the 58 where it doesn't work. That's my mission for 2021. I'm
Yeah.
writing that down. I'm gonna get John on HF.
Nah, I
and
ain't
be
gonna
happy. Oh,
I
bullshit.
tell you, I think
I'll bet you a ribeye that it's gonna happen this summer.
no. 5 years is enough.
No,
Oh, no.
give it 5.5 because later this summer
Later this summer,
we're gonna get together. You're gonna make a bunch of contacts.
No,
I'm not
no,
gonna
you'll be
talk to
happy.
anybody.
Here's the thing, and this is what nobody's been able to do, okay? To this day, nobody's been able to do it. I go out to the woods, somebody will have a radio set up, things working phenomenal. Nobody's been able to do the same shit with my stuff.
Well, we're gonna change your stuff. Okay, that's
Obviously,
what I'm
you
doing.
didn't have right
We're gonna-
stuff. You didn't have
No,
right
no.
stuff.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I'm not talking
I'm
about
not-
bringing Prometheus there, George. We're just gonna bring a wire and a radio.
Well, I'll show you
it ain't
something.
gonna work.
You didn't have one of this. See this?
No, no.
See this? Though what happens is you take one of this, okay,
Yeah.
here, you attach, you know, Velcro right here, like this, okay, right through this.
Yeah,
My camera is freezing up
I
on
see
me.
it.
yeah.
Like this, right? You put 6 meters of wire here. You put
Uh-huh.
another 6 meters of wire here. And
Yeah.
here you put
450
PD
ladder line.
no, not for 50, 300.
300.
One which will be TV line, like you said, you have a bunch of it. Run to your manual tuner, and guarantee you that setup will get you contacts. And
Sure.
if that does not, I will give you that radio that we're gonna try.
Yeah.
Oh no, he wants us to do it with his equipment.
So be it.
And if it doesn't work, then we've eliminated the problem. But we're going to have equipment with us to compare it, because you don't have an A/B comparison right now.
Yeah,
You have
here-
one
here-
radio,
here's-
one antenna, and it's not going well.
No, here's the thing. It's I've had the 130. What did I hear about the 130? Now, George, remember when we put that thing on the dummy load on the watt meter? It's putting out power.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I've made contacts on it. We know the damn thing works. It doesn't work for me. And what's thing? Yeah, that radio, it's too old. Which I know that's bullshit.
That's correct.
Now it seems to me, by listening to what I've heard on 80 meters, you need a ICOM 7300. That's the only radio you need is the ICOM 7300.
It's like,
and what I have discovered, particularly on 80 meters. Now, the only reason why I'm saying is because 80 meters is the only band that's open ever. Is nobody talks about antennas. They talk about one radio, the 7300, but everybody talks about how much power. So that's what I'm thinking. It ain't about the radio. It ain't about the antenna. It's about the amplifier. Because if you can amplify a shit signal, eventually somebody's going to hear you.
I don't think so, because even amplifiers, I mean, you dump an amplifier into inefficient antenna and you still have an inefficient system. So
certainly amplifier certainly helps. That there's no question about that. Absolutely no question about that.
I mean, I've never heard of somebody making fewer contacts on 1,000 watts than you did on 100.
Right.
Do you need it? I mean, I've got an amplifier sitting here under my table. I've never actually. I hooked it up to the radio, and I've never actually used it. You know.
No.
I wouldn't know how. I would be scared because amplifier amplifies problems. And if you got a connection in your coax that's not quite right, or you didn't solder this end on your coax quite right, or you're not going to do a lot of damage at 100 watts. But you get up there around 100, 1500, and it might do some damage.
There would be something satisfying, though, about flipping a switch on an amplifier and watching everything burst into flames. I can say, well, that took care of that shit.
That's not as satisfying as one might think, because my little Chinese radio at 1 o'clock in the morning talking to you, it burst into, it had smoke coming out of it. And there you are going, ooh, what do you do? Because you don't expect a radio at 1 o'clock in the morning to catch on fire. And the fire extinguisher is out in the freaking wood shop. Okay. Yeah. It's not here in the radio room where apparently you need one, because it's not as satisfying as one might think.
But I've had, I got multiple Baofangs, never failed. I have Yaesus, never failed. I got Kenwoods, never failed.
Well, you know why?
All UHF, VHF. Never failed.
Because you're
never failed to make contact on those. HF.
Talking to repeaters that are 500 feet in the air.
No. I mean, I'm talking simplex. Never failed. They always work. Every single time you turn it on, they work.
I guarantee you that if you bring your radio, and go across the street, which is probably about half of the distance you make your simplex contacts on. You sit there with your HF radio, I'll be able to contact you.
You sure you will? Yeah. And another thing I read about this, because I've done research on this shit, and it says that if you're having trouble on HF, get a hold of somebody through an email and schedule a QSON. I'm thinking, what is the damn point of? Oh, hang on, I got to use another method of communication so I can contact them by radio.
Here's what you got to do.
It's not making sense.
Radio.
First, you have to take your setup, and install Whisper, get it set up, and let it run on Whisper for a couple hours, and look and see where you're heard in the world. Okay, you can either do that
right now, where I'm heard nowhere,
or you can go. There's web SDRs all over the place.
I use those,
and you can't hear yourself.
If I switch to CW, I can hear myself. If I switch to
radio's making signals.
Shit. You what?
Then your radio is making signals. Another thing you could do is get on FTA, call CQ, and go to PSK reporter and see who's hearing you.
Yeah, that's what I do all the time, because
I don't have a for FTA here. That's at home.
Are you okay? You say your radio is putting out power. That's well established.
Right.
But is the needle wiggling when you're talking? I mean, is
Yeah.
it got a broken mic wire or something?
No, it's moving. And
I don't know, John.
It's and this I know there's an RF cloud that absorbs everything at the home QTH, and I blame that on the airport.
I don't, because I told you before, you made 54 contacts out of your backyard on field day.
No.
Mel was a witness.
Yeah, that's forced propagation, though.
Well,
What I'm talking about is that whenever I'm around my house, I lose 2 meters. I lose 220 if I'm not on the home antenna. I don't lose 70 centimeters. HF is total shit. I go a half a block away, and it's 100% better.
that could be. I mean, you just locate, the airport.
Yeah.
You're just in a null.
And I accept that because of all of the shit going on around.
Yeah.
I come out in the middle
Monticello.
of nowhere,
Yeah.
which is where I'm at here.
Yeah.
And it's actually worse. And I'm thinking, well, this sucks. I mean, there is no point in me bringing HF equipment out here.
Well, okay. Is it Christmas lights? Is there like a lot of Christmas lights around there right now? Are they still lighting up at night? No, so it's not that.
Most everybody got them down now.
Well, I don't know then, because you in Monticello, you shouldn't have half of the man-made crap that you're used to in Chicago.
Yeah.
Maybe this will help. I got almost zero noise floor on 80 meters. I can't do 160, so I don't listen there. I got an incredibly high noise floor on 40.
I do too.
20
sometimes.
not bad. And then it goes drastically down from there. But the problem is I'm not hearing anybody on 10, 15, 20 meters, 17, 12. Nobody. I'll hear somebody on 40, and I think it's because of the noise floor. 80 meters, I'm hearing everywhere. It's just nobody's hearing me at all. And so.
What time you listening to the 20 meters?
I'm sorry?
What time are you listening to the 20 meters?
I usually start somewhere around 3 o'clock here, which would be 2 o'clock Chicago time.
That should still be working.
There should be somebody there at 2 o'clock Central time. There should be. I mean, there has been. I know at night there's nobody on 20 unless it's a field day.
Yeah.
Well, at night, 20 meters, well, I wouldn't say it doesn't work. It works whenever there is a really good propagation.
Yeah.
So there was the days when 20 meters was working 24/7.
Yeah.
But these days you can't. After sunset, you can't expect 20 meters working.
Well, today the
that?
prediction is fair and fair for 30 and 20 at night and day. And 80 and 40 is good.
Nothing to do with any equipment or anything else. It's just that's the way propagation is, and probably it's going to be for next year or so. Occasionally there will be propagation, probably during evening hours. Close to sunset, you might hear, New Zealand, Australia, those things.
Yeah.
In the morning, you will hear Europe, because they are 7 hours ahead. But no, 20 meters during the night, you're not gonna hear anything on 20 meters.
No, but I'm hearing stations on 80 meters all over the country, and I can't get anybody to come back.
80 meter with the Alpha.
Yeah.
That 80 meters is probably kind of a stretch for the Alpha. In fact, I don't even know if its build is working on 80.
Yeah, 80 through 6. 6 meters is a waste of time. There's never anybody there. So
Lou.
You what?
No, it's
Vertical.
it's a vertical
Well,
with
it's a system. There's a vertical. You can set it up as an OCF. You can set it up as an NFED. Whole different configurations. And I have just, you know, I know the antenna works. It absolutely works.
Yes, the more that you're using loading and tuning to make a small element do a long wavelength, the less efficient it's going to be.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know. I get that. There's a hell of a compromise, but I mean, zero contacts. That does not sound to me like, you know, and the antenna is receiving well. And I know that nothing has happened to this antenna, but then again, nothing happened to that damn random wire that I had up in the woods at Bourbonnais that one year that I made 60 contacts on. I coiled up that antenna, I put it in the container, nothing happened to the damn thing. I take it out a year later, it's total shit. So nothing happened to the wire.
That's not antenna, that's propagation.
Well,
See? He doesn't
no, I
believe
couldn't
me.
even tune the damn thing. So, you know, there are things that, you know, there's a reason why everyone is not a carpenter. There's a reason why everyone is not a plumber. There's a reason why everybody isn't an IT guy. This is the reason why I am not a radio guy. It's
Says
just
the
one of
guy
those
who
things.
wants to get his gruel license.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. I can
Well-
put shit together. I can build stuff.
This season is going to change your tune about that. You guys, well, Jick's got it recorded.
That's-
live on
that's-
YouTube.
I've heard,
answer.
I've heard that for 5 years.
Well, no, you don't. You haven't met me 5 years ago, so
That's
I'm on
a-
the case.
That's answer right here.
Yeah.
6 meters of wire on each side, John.
That's an
Yeah.
awesome antenna, whether it's
Oh, I
horizontal
believe
or
that.
vertical.
No, I believe that. It's just, you know, the station I'm setting up is the station I should have been setting up, and that's the first aid station.
yeah. I think
Well,
one of
you
the
can do
things
that
that
in your spare time.
you've got to get either something that is get an antenna up so that you can, when you hear propagation's good, you can turn on the radio and not have to go through a bunch of shit, and then take a bunch of stuff down if it's not working. It's you turn it on. Is it working? Fine. If it isn't, go off and do something else. There's too much
I've got
kind
a
of
cobweb to donate
stuff
to
you
the
got to set
cause.
up.
Sometimes that propagation can be really short.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
just like
Change mid conversation, right,
like
George?
oh heck yeah, that happened to me many times. Just like in the morning, you can start hearing some stations, and usually East Coast is getting, you know, Europe first, okay, and by the time that's gonna come to Chicago, so still East Coast doing very, very well. So most of the stations are still talking to Europe, and they talking for a long time, and they occupied, you know, frequencies because they got propagation, and when propagation comes here already, you know, most of
Propagation
the
is
bands
kind of
are
like
busy.
the sun. It
Yeah,
travels at different. If you nail a stick in the ground, set a rock at the end of the shadow. Wait
Yeah.
10 minutes and look where the shadow's at. It's kind of
Right.
like propagation. It's the
So-
same thing.
maybe I'm expecting more out of radio.
Yes, you are.
Then that whole thing about when all else fails, you know,
That's a
amateur
lot of
radio
hooey.
works.
That's a lot of
That's a lot of
bullshit.
hooey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
That's
you would
bullshit.
be, yeah, but you know CW. Why don't you try all of this stuff on CW before
no
you start
clue what-
condemn? I mean, you know Morse code. I don't know the whole code,
Barely.
but barely is way further along than me. All right. So you could try CW, which is just, you know, the prior to FT8. It's not computer generated, but it's CW. All right. You're doing so FT8's the same thing. It's just sounds a little funny. So you just, if you were using CW, I think you would make contacts. I just, I can't.
Well, see, I don't know.
Because that's the piercing, that's the sound that gets across the world despite conditions. George could take his legal limit and start pounding out code, and there's nowhere he couldn't talk with his beam, whether he has to force the propagation or not. Somebody's going to hear him.
So I need a portable 1500 watt amplifier.
No, you don't. You need a Pixie thing. You see, these guys are running milliwatts, but they know code.
Yeah.
And they're getting a hold of the other guy running milliwatts.
1500 watts amplifier, yeah, that's pretty good.
These people that are running milliwatts and shit, I bet they're spending a couple of grand on an antenna.
No, they're not. They're just, they use simple antennas, 26 gauge wire, because they got to cart it. Okay. They're using 26 gauge wire cut to the right length. Remember, the efficiency is, it's every gain is measured from a dipole. Not an isotopic radiator, but a freaking dipole, a simple piece of wire cut to a certain length. It gets no better than that.
Right.
It doesn't. It really does not. So you know code. You have a pretty efficient antenna. If you could pound out, you know what? Where's the wife at? We're going to freaking Monticello. I'm gonna set a freaking radio, an antenna, and a key on your doorstep, and then I'm coming home.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll even put a bottle of Lysol on top of it for you. Okay.
We're probably going to be here for Winter Field Day.
Not a bad place to be.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
What's great about Winter Field
Day? I have time to mail you all this crap before Winter Field Day.
What's great about Winter Field Day is the only thing I got to bring is my medical kit. That's already here.
Wow. You should put a lot of energy into opposing this, don't you?
If he would put half that energy into you know, here's the thing. Okay.
The amount of shit I've been through at field days and with this HF nonsense is absolute hell. It's painful for me to deal with this. I mean, this, every time I'm going to set, I don't have a shack at home. So anything I got to do portable. And that includes running the net. I have to set up the station every time I'm running the net. It's just the way it is. I can't fix that now.
Okay.
But so I don't have a continuous, what would you say? A permanent thing of which.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Something with the internet. My signal was freezing.
And they do it really well. I'm not one of those people. And I won't be one of those people. And I'm getting to be okay with it. It's just one of those things. Am I freezing up again?
Oh,
you're good now.
My delivery is showing up soon, so if I walk away,
it's just one of those things I'm not going to be good at.
Well, I don't know about that because I've seen you on field day make contacts like crazy. Oops, he's gone. And when I haven't been able to make contact, so there's something he does right that I don't.
Well, remember, okay, winter field days ago, he set up the 130 and he was having issues with it, whatever. And after everything calmed down and all the excitement, and after dark, I talked to him the next day, I think it was, and he said, man, everything just came together. And that night he made like 100 contacts on 40 meters or something like that. I mean, it was just working like gangbusters.
Just reboot. Let's see if that's going to be better.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Wave your hand, John. Let's see.
Yep, working fine.
Now it's working. It's not freezing. Yeah.
Either the 130 is intermittent or something. But I remember that one field day.
130 is fine. 2000 is fine.
Yeah. Well, then something is not fine. I understand you have to set up. It's basically like setting up portable every time you go to use your radio. But
Question for you. What's you got the hedge attachment on your Honda, right?
Yeah,
What's the size of that square?
1.5 inches.
You sure it's 1.5 inches, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause mine is 2 inches.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's this whole thing has been a joke since I started with HF. It works fantastic one day. It ain't there after that.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how
that's
HF works.
propagation.
Yeah.
That's
Then
how
why
HF
am I
works.
doing this?
Well, it's the thrill of the hunt,
Because
man.
that's not a telephone, John.
Right.
No, yeah, but the thrill of the hunt isn't there anymore if you keep going out and going out and going out and you don't get anything.
No, it ain't, because when you make 100 contacts at field day, you're the happiest guy in the world for a month.
Exactly.
You know, it's like,
And then you spend the next year trying to chase one.
no, we're going to do POTA this year. We're going to get some parks on the air, and we're going to set your equipment up, and you're going to sit there and you run a pile up, and I'll keep putting you on the DX cluster until I see sweat forming on your forehead. Then I'll call somebody else to put you on the DX cluster. Okay. And then we'll see about you bitching about HF. Pile up ain't for the amateur. It ain't for me. I can tell you that. Stress, man. Stress. I could never be air traffic control.
This way. What would happen the day after?
You couldn't wait for the weekend till you go out there again.
Right, and then the weekend shows up, and I'm back to square one.
Well, actually, you would get more contacts during the week. At working, you would go out, especially, you're retired now, so you could set your own schedule. So you could go out, and as soon as somebody hears POTA, they're like calling their friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you're on the DX cluster, and people just start chasing, because there's hunters out there. They get points for hunting. You get points for, activations. You get points for all this crap. You get an award for everything when it comes to parks on the air.
Yeah.
All right. The whole thing is designed to get people off their butts and do something. So people are lined up waiting to talk to you. And, I go through their website just about every day, and I look and I tune to the frequency because, they're spotted, and I look on it, I go through the frequency and see if I can hear the park. If I can hear it, I can usually get a hold of it.
I want to show you something, guys. Look, the custom clamp for microphone.
Oh, there you go.
See this?
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
But
what did
this was carved out from solid aluminum, just big black. Well, I think I could make a clamp out of it.
Nice.
Nice.
And that's
Very
powder coated, so that looks like $1 million, man.
Yeah, it does.
That's nice.
And it's so strong. I mean, yeah,
you're not gonna move it.
No, you can put a vise on that thing and start filing.
Well, Jim made one out of a pipe flange, didn't he? Wasn't that Jim that did that?
Maybe.
I think so. But yeah, John, it can be done. And Parks on the Air is the place to do it. You want to make some contacts and be all stressed out, I'm telling you, it'd be worth it.
2 times 6 meters. That's all it is to it. And 40 foot fiberglass pole. Attach that to the hitch of your car, just so you get something to grab, so you get some kind of structure to grab, and two times any manual antenna tuner, and it worked. We tried that, right, and it worked very, very well in the parks.
Oh, sure. That's the one you made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here is answer to your prayers. I got your name on one of them.
Yeah,
Man, I got some PVC pipe. I got oodles of PVC pipe. We can make them things all day long.
That's not PVC. I wouldn't use PVC.
Why not?
Come on. You think that I wouldn't use low grade material like that.
Oh my goodness, I
Come
forgot I'm talking to
on.
an engineer.
Come
Look.
on, man.
Hey, I got oodles of 1-inch PVC pipe laying around that I've used for booms of antennas and this, that, and the
Yeah.
other to make this backup failed.
They get brittle really
Somebody.
quick. That's the
Well,
problem.
that's what I thought. Except the one the PVC pipe I've got on the garage that holds up the one end of the dipole. I wasn't expecting it to last more than a year or two, and it's been like 7-8 years, and it's still up there, and it's bent, but that's because it's wire is pulling on it only one way. It's I was been amazed how long that's lasted.
That
PVC
gray
is a
one,
naturally
that gray PVC lasts a lot
would be
longer.
even better. Yeah.
That's
But
Schedule 80.
even the regular stuff, it just no,
Yeah.
it's a Schedule 40, I think. It's not even.
Oh,
Yeah.
the electrical version.
No,
Let me
well,
see.
no.
The gray?
Well, the one I've got is the plumbing pipe, but the gray would do
Schedule
even
40.
better because it's designed to at least
For
have
outside.
some UV resistance. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I John is going to
and
run a
it's
pile
cheap
up
as a
this year.
shit. That
Yeah.
PVC. I mean, you go to Menards and 8-foot PVC or 10-footer, whatever they sell it, that can
Like
be
$4.
yeah, like $4, something like that.
And John, I think one thing that could help is just get any kind of antenna that you can leave up down in Monticello, and then you got something, you try it, see what's going on.
I think you should go to the dollar store today. All right. I think you should buy a 50-foot roll of speaker wire and separate it. Cut it at 22 feet or no, 22. And then, oh shoot, you don't have a manual tuner with you. That ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Then, okay, just make a resonant dipole. Okay.
For 20,
20
meters.
meters.
Yep.
And just cut it, separate it. If you've got to use wire nuts or just twist the stupid things together with some electrical tape to each element, put it up on an 8-foot pole or whatever you can find or whatever, and just make an inverted V. And I'm telling you, you're going to be worldwide.
That would work. Yeah.
It would. Very efficient.
Yeah.
It's inexpensive. It's relatively. I sent you the link to the SWR calculator.
And
right.
You don't need to set it up every time you want to see what's going on the radio.
Right.
Yeah.
You're good to go for $5 and an hour of your time.
I have a microwave. Yay!
Nice.
Well, gang, I think it's been 4 hours and 40 minutes since we started this thing. I think maybe it's getting to be time, and the clock in my tummy went off. So either I can make somebody else the host, or gonna see what's happening.
I'm gonna get hiking.
There you go.
Hike your behind to the dollar store and go get your speaker wire. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Right on. Get right on it.
All right,
All
gang.
right, folks. We'll
Take
see
care.
you guys.
Been a pleasure.
Take it easy. Happy New Year. Everybody be safe.
Yep.
Happy New
We'll see
Year,
ya.
guys.
too.